Yeah, she's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran's off her medication. She's over at the safe haven. Detective 12, check that one out.
6 Rumble, 2 point start, 50 shots.
Officer still stands for time? No. Offender in custody? Please come forward. Anyone else close by this result, let me know.
Sweet. Can you let our supervisor know that what is attached?
There we go. Good morning. Oh no. I know it's a weird time. It's a weird time this morning. Good morning. I miss my own saxophone cue. I haven't had any coffee yet. I'm like, screw it. Let's get on this morning. Let's hang out. Who knows if you got a notification or not? YouTube. So, I don't know. I got up. I was up early this morning. I went to bed pretty early last night, and I was just tired. So I went to bed pretty soon after the show, and I got up super early, and I was sitting there and I was looking outside the window, and it's the birds chirping, and it's just like, damn, it's so beautiful out. And I'm like, screw it, let's do a show this morning. So good morning. Half asleep. Still not woke up yet. First drink of coffee. But we were covering a case last night. Ella Adler. She was wakeboarding and then was hit by, looked like a mini yacht or something. Had 4 engines on the back, so it's pretty powerful. But there's a new update this morning, so I figured we'd check that out real quick. And then we're mainly going to be discussing the Mica Miller case this morning. Not that we won't talk about something else, but mainly discuss the Mica Miller case this morning. There's so much. There's just so much that's coming out. Justin on TikTok yesterday, I guess, major updates. I mean, there's so much to it. Last night we checked out kind of like a timeline, because there's a lot that I still don't know. Just started getting into it. Checked out the timeline, watched the memorial service. Really odd. To say the least. And then all the stuff that's kind of surrounding it. I know there's a lot. A few days ago, there was this video that we wanted to check out about a friend that wanted to talk about the church and all these different things. So we're going to be going through that today. So I want to say thank you guys for hopping in. I appreciate you. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. It is the free way. And thank you all for hopping in. There's some old names. What's up, Dre? What's up, Nina? The mods, thank you. So I figured we'd check out that little update real quick. And then kind of get to see what these new updates are. Did anybody watch the Justin on TikTok from last night? And it's okay, I understand. I know it's an odd time for me to be doing a show. But I was up. Probably have some things this evening. So I wanted to make sure that I got on and hung out with you guys if I wasn't able to later. Oh, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, crazy stuff when it comes. I mean, the memorial service alone. What a beautiful voice Micah had. You know? Oh my gosh. You know, what the lab for the Micah Miller? They had something on Micah Miller. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like we had watched a couple of like, I think they were like not TikTok video. Maybe they were TikTok videos or they were Facebook. No, I think they were Facebook videos. When we first started talking about it, I think I remember watching some of these like little Facebook videos that had her singing, but when we watched the memorial service and the video that they played, it was like, whoa. Like she could have for real been like a music artist or something. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, damn. So it's crazy. Like reality, the stuff that, like the new details. It was a really good episode last night. Kind of getting into the case here, and learning some of the different things. Because we covered it when it like first started, you know, going through the national airwaves. We were like, whoa, this is weird. You hear the 911 call. You see the video, so it's like, well, yeah, it's sketchy as hell. This is last week. Yeah, it's sketchy as hell. But then again, you see the testimony from Africa, right? 2 weeks before. You see the video going to purchase the gun. You see the video going here to here. But then you start to hear about, whoa, she was this far away from this and the family's been coming out. This is before the family was talking. But now with all this other stuff, it's like, whoa, wait a minute here, questions and contradictions. It's really what it should be. Idaho 4, questions and contradictions. The Micah Miller case, questions and contradictions. Because how does multiple casings, like, you hear the way that the evidence was collected? That's why last night I'm sitting there asking, wait a minute. The park ranger collected evidence? Does the park ranger, do they get training on how to collect evidence? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know a park ranger. Never hung out with one. I have no idea. Do they go through the training like a real, police officer or something, where they get trained on how to collect and preserve and all these different things? I don't know. And if it's, let's be honest, even if it is out in the boonies, it ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? The shit ain't going nowhere. So why don't you just wait until somebody that can collect the evidence properly? The casings ain't going nowhere. The casings ain't going nowhere. So why don't you just wait? It's crazy. Mica Miller. We're going to be going into that mostly. Here's an update with Ella Adler that case, this is unfortunate too. On Mother's Day, was out with some friends. Was wakeboarding and then got ran over, unfortunately. Something we covered last night too. So here's this update, and we'll get into some of that Micah Miller stuff. What's up? What's up, Tiffany? What's up, everybody hopping in? Thank you. And here we go. Check this out. Newest update from today.
Tonight at 11, the man authorities say killed a teenage girl with his boat in Biscayne Bay has been identified. Tonight, his lawyer says his client had no idea it happened until police showed up at his door.
We're also hearing from the mother of one of the girls who was with the teen out on the water. CBS News Miami's Larry Seward is in Coral Gables with these latest developments.
Twice, Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation officers told us the boat involved was owned by and operated by Carlos Guillermo Alonso, a 78-year-old man who, according to his lawyer, is inside the house behind me hurting.
This is the worst possible tragedy that anyone could have.
Hold on. The owner or the driver? Because maybe he just owned the boat.
Officers told us the boat involved was owned by and operated by Carlos Guillermo Alonso.
Owned and operated. Whoa.
Alonso, a 78-year-old man who, according to his lawyer, is inside the house behind me hurting.
This is
owned
the worst
and
possible
operated
tragedy that anyone could imagine. We are devastated for the Adlers, for their friends, for their family. There is no question in our minds that this is an absolutely horrific thing.
As tributes for Ella Adler flood social media, other schools chimed in. So did this lawyer for Carlos Guillermo Alonso, the man investigators say steered the boat that killed the 15-year-old in Biscayne Bay Saturday. Florida Fish and Wildlife officers say Adler was wakeboarding behind a boat that carried 13 others about a mile away from Mashta Point. Authorities say Adler and another girl fell into the water. Investigators say Alonso, a boater for 50 years, was alone in the whaler. Witnesses include one of Ella's best friends, whose mom says the girl watched Adler die and is struggling to cope. Melissa White explained to Key Biscayne Village Council Tuesday.
The Adler family.
Oh my gosh, you're such a damn troll. Hey, there's toilet paper. Go wipe your ass. You obviously have some shit hanging out of it.
Their lives are forever changed. But those girls that had to witness it.
Did you just say the sun was blue? Get the fuck out of here, dumbass.
My hope is that they go forward
Get the fuck out
and
of
they
here.
continue to make Ella's memory a blessing.
Alonso's lawyer says her client is struggling too.
If he was the person that was involved in this accident, and I want to be clear, we don't know that yet. If he was, he had absolutely no idea of his involvement. When the police came knocking, he did not know why.
Of course, because we talked about it last night. Yo. What time was it? You know what I mean? What time was it? Oh, don't worry, Tiffany. Is that age discrimination? Like, it's 2024, dude. It's 2020. Please look at the back of a macaroni box before you cook it, because you can hurt somebody. If you fuck up macaroni, you can literally hurt somebody. They can choke on a uncooked noodle. It can happen. Please read the back of the macaroni box.
Former cruise ship, tanker, and mega yacht captain Mike Brill, who now
Don't hurt
testifies in legal
nobody.
cases involving passenger vessels, took us out where it happened.
This is a great place to water ski because of the wave action. The downside is you have a channel here. So this is a thoroughfare for boats to go through.
Brill says the boat's size, speed, and power make it anything but easy to maneuver around obstacles.
It's like a semi-truck that can do over 50 knots, which is almost 60 miles an hour.
Dang!
The visibility is limited and the speed is obviously fast.
60 miles an hour. It's like operating a semi. Damn, 60 miles an hour. Can you imagine this boat going 60 miles an hour? And it's a thoroughfare? Is that what they said? A thoroughfare? So that means that these boats are coming in and out. Good morning. These boats are coming in and out. Is that why? Oh, wait a minute. Is that why the lawyer that we saw last night said that the person that even was owning the boat that operated the wakeboard could be held for negligence? Is it because it's in a part? Hold on. Is it because it's in a part where, like, it's obvious boats come in and out? Hold on. Let me see. This guy says this is a location.
Why?
Former cruise ship, tanker, and mega yacht captain Mike Brill, who now testifies in legal cases involving passenger vessels, took us out where it happened.
This is a great
Oh, wait a minute. Is there like a bird's eye view of this?
place to water ski because of the wave action. The downside is you have a channel here. So this is a thoroughfare for boats to go through.
Brill says the boat's size, speed, and power make it anything but easy to maneuver around
Oh my gosh, 4 engines, 60 miles an hour. Oh man.
obstacles.
It's like a semi truck that can do over 50 knots, which is almost 60 miles an hour. The visibility is limited and the speed is obviously fast. So
Yeah, but why would you? Okay, so this is where it happened. You saw, okay, so you got, let me see, 235. Then you got the other side. So you got this side. No, it's the same side. Yeah, it's the same side because it's just a different angle. Why would you be going 60 miles an hour through that spot? If it is.
it's obviously fast. So even if the driver of the boat saw a person in the water, it would have been difficult for them to avoid. If you hit with the hull is full of foam. It's a 30,000-pound boat. It would not make any noise.
Investigators say
What?
Alonso is cooperating. So far, no one faces.
Wow, this guy's basically saying, like, whoa. This guy is basically, this is the argument of the boater, right?
Cruise ship, tanker, and mega yacht captain Mike Brill, who now testifies in legal cases involving passenger.
He testifies in legal cases involving these kind of accidents. What's up? Holy shit. So the person that this is this is what he's claiming. So the accident happened. The accident happened. The dude goes back home with the boat. The dude goes back home. Then the police find the boat that fits the description. So then they take the boat in and they bring the guy in for questioning. And he's claiming that he didn't know that he hit anybody or is being accused of hitting anybody until the police showed up to take the boat. But when we were watching it last night, because we covered this last night, we were like, come on, you had to have, you know what I mean? Right? If you're going in a spot, right? You would think like you're not going that freaking fast, 60 miles an hour. You wouldn't think you're going 60 miles an hour anywhere that's like where you can see, freaking where you can see all this, you wouldn't think you'd be going 60 mile an hour. But this dude testifies in court cases that involve these kind of accidents. Yo. And the guy, I mean, it sounds to me like he's not going to get in trouble, but maybe a little slap on the wrist, right?
Captain
Listen.
Mike Brill, who now testifies in legal cases involving passenger vessels, took us out where it happened.
This is a great place to water ski because of the wave action. The downside is you have a channel here. So this is a thoroughfare for boats to go through.
Brill says the boat's size, speed, and power make it anything but easy to maneuver around obstacles.
It's like a semi-truck that can do over 50 knots, which is almost 60 miles an hour. The visibility is limited and the speed is obviously fast. So even if the driver of the boat saw a person in the water, it would have been difficult for them to avoid. If you hit with the hull is full of foam. It's a 30,000-pound boat. It would not make any noise.
Investigators say Alonzo is cooperating. So far, no one faces charges.
Man.
FWC investigators want anyone who potentially has video of the accident to share it with their officers. In Coral Gables.
Damn straight, they want to be. They want to know. They want to know if this dude was going 60 freaking miles an hour, right? What's up, Busby? What's up, Grizz? There's some links for y'all. They want to know if this dude was going 60 mile an hour. I don't know, Busby. Dude, like 60 mile an hour. But man, the dude, I mean, he testifies in these kind of cases. He testifies in these kind of cases. All right, next video.
We are continuing our coverage on the death of Mica
Good
Miller,
morning.
the wife of Solid Rock Church pastor John Paul Miller, who was found dead in Lumber River State Park in Robeson County on April 27th. According to the county medical examiner, Mica died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
And today we did obtain documents from the Horry County Probate Court through a Freedom of Information Act request, and they show that Mica's younger sister applied to be the special administrator of her estate rather than her husband.
The affidavits from Mica's brother and sister outline their concerns regarding her death and estate in the days following her death. ABC 15's Joel Vasquez is working for you tonight, looking into these documents. Joel?
Jen Connor, Mica's sister, Sierra Francis, claims in her affidavit that Mica told her about abuse and violence from John Paul. Now, court documents confirm John Paul was served divorce papers on April 25th, just 2 days before Mica died. Now, Sierra says Mica believed people were following her and that John Paul had hired people to keep track of her where she went. Also in the affidavit, Sierra says that Mica was fearful that she would not make it to the divorce and that her life would be taken from her. Now, Sierra testified Mica told her, quote, "If I end up with a bullet in my head, it was not me, it was JP." Now, according to the affidavit from Mica's brother, Nathaniel Francis, he received multiple emails forwarded to him by Mica and John Paul. Nathaniel's affidavit states that in one of those emails, he says John Paul apologized for damaging her vehicle, saying that he was angry at Mica because she put her family before him, making him want to hurt her. Also in the court documents, Sierra said Mica told her that John Paul was moving assets from his name, like his car and their house, to the church. Now, online records for Horry County show that their home was transferred from John Paul to Solid Rock Ministries last December. We have reached out to John Paul's attorney for comment, and we're still waiting to hear back. Jen, Connor?
Joel, thank you. John Paul Miller has not been arrested or charged with any crimes related to Mica Miller's death. To read the full affidavits, you can find that right now on our website at WPD.com.
Yeah, and we went through that a few shows ago. Since this popped up, I do want to share it because this was a great video. If anybody doesn't know about it, I'm going to play it again because it's only 6 minutes. but it's the timeline of how everything took place, and I'll share the link with you guys, and then we'll get into some of this other stuff here. Here's the link for the timeline. This is a really good video. Really good video.
Sunday, October 8, 2023. Mica Miller and her husband, John Paul Miller, a pastor from Solid Rock Church, filed for divorce. They were married back in 2017. Mica's friend said she had led the women's ministry and worship team at the same church. Thursday, February 8, 2024. Mica's involuntarily hospitalized for 48 hours. Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. Mica calls police and alleges her ex-husband stole her car while she was hospitalized. She tells the officer she has known her husband since she was 10 years old and that he, quote, groomed her, end quote, while she worked for him at Solid Rock Church until they were wed in 2017. John Paul tells the cops his wife suffers from, quote, episodes, end quote. Since the car is marital property, no charges were filed. Monday, March 11, 2024. 2 incidents are filed with authorities naming Mica as a victim. She calls the police after finding her tire slashed with a piece of metal. It was later identified as a tire deflation device available for purchase online. Mechanics then find a GPS device attached to her car. Wednesday, March 13, 2024. Someone at Solid Rock Church files a police report alleging Mica transferred donation funds from the church's Zelle and Cash App accounts to her personal account. Mica leaves her apartment in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, shortly after noon and heads to a pawn shop to buy a gun. 12:34 p.m. Mica leaves the pawn shop and travels on a highway, stopping at a gas station to buy gas and a drink. She heads toward North Carolina. 2:54 p.m. After about an hour and a half, Mica calls 911 from a park over the state line about 33 miles away from the gas station and says she plans to end her own life.
Tell me what's happened. I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
3:03 p.m. Deputies with the sheriff's office head to Lumber River State Park, contact the park rangers, and begin a search within 30 minutes. Specialized units searching for Mica from the air are deployed. 3:50 p.m. Detectives are approached by someone fishing in the area who says they heard crying followed by a gunshot. They also found a bag a few feet from the water's edge with Mica's ID inside of it. 4:23 p.m. A kayaker in the area calls 911 to report a body in the water. A perimeter is created to secure the area for an investigation. Within the hour, the chief of detectives arrives and the medical examiner is called. 5:54 p.m. Crime scene investigation technician begins taking photos of the area, and they found Mica's car. Inside the car, investigators found a gun case in the passenger seat and ammunition in the center console. The receipt for...
So how in the hell is she in the water? Wouldn't she be in the car?
Called. 5:54 p.m. Crime scene investigation technician begins taking photos of the area, and they found Mica's car. Inside the car, investigators found a gun case in the passenger seat and ammunition in the center console. The receipt for the weapon and her gas station stop are found.
That's right. The gun was 40 yards away, right?
7:11 p.m. A gun is discovered in the water at the park. Its serial number matches the case found in Mica's car. Tuesday, May 2nd, 2024. John Paul Miller sits down with WPDE for an interview. During the interview, he mentioned some of the struggles he thought Mica had with mental health.
So over the years since we've been married, some people struggle with high blood pressure, some struggle with diabetes, or struggle with mental health. And whenever she stayed on her lithium, things were amazing. She'd come off sometimes and things.
And that's one of the things we noticed last night when we watched this is like he's looking at the officer right there, and you see him kind of licking his lips before he has to talk, and then the whole time he never makes eye contact ever again.
Tuesday, May 2nd, 2024. John Paul Miller sits down with WPDE for an interview. During the interview, he mentioned some of the struggles he thought Mica had with mental health.
So over the years since we've been married, some people struggle with high blood pressure, some struggle with diabetes, or struggle with mental health. And whenever she stayed on her lithium, things were amazing. She'd come off sometimes and things would get a little unusual. Per her doctors, they told her even just recently they had written that she was homicidal or suicidal. And she had struggled with suicide before. And each time, helped her through it, took her to her doctor, and we got through it, and everything was fine. So this past time was still a shock, an incredible shock.
Sunday, May 5th, 2024. Friends and family rally outside Solid Rock Church. Some in Mica's family dispute the manner of death described by her estranged husband.
This has to be at least looked into deeply. There's got to be some accountability here because it's a tragic life was lost, and it's not just as simple as somebody had some mental issues.
A memorial service honoring her life followed the rally. Monday, May 6, 2024. The medical examiner releases Mica's cause of death. They conclude that she died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Mica's family meets with deputies about the investigation. John Paul asked the sheriff's office to meet with him in South Carolina. The investigation team said they did not plan to cross the state lines. Wednesday, May 8th, 2024. Public records requested by WPDE are released, detailing the events leading up to Mica's suicide.
And I'll read that for you guys if you couldn't read it. It says, this created a buzz, causing local and national media outlets to begin proliferating these falsehoods on a mammoth proportion. Our client refutes any report that suggests he ever abused his wife. Recent reports claim that Pastor Miller groomed his wife from the age of 10 years old. Couldn't be farther from the truth. And this is from the attorney of John Paul Miller, Russell B. Long. Then it says, it has come to light that Mica Miller struggled with mental illness, specifically bipolar disorder, which, when not properly managed, led to paranoid episodes and self-destructive behavior. Again, Mica suffered. I mean, you just told us that she suffered from mental illness. Now again, Mica suffered from mental illness, and some reports made by her in the recent past are nonsensical. This unfortunate reality underscores the importance of destigmatizing mental health issues and ensuring that those affected receive appropriate support and treatment. I wonder why it needed to be stated right after it was stated. What's up, Rosie? Are you there? Uh-oh. There you are.
Thanks.
Hey,
Hi.
this is weird. I'm reading this statement. Good morning. I'm reading this statement, and it says, it has come to, this is the second paragraph. For the first paragraph talks about how there's this media buzz and talking about these things, and these things coming out are not true, and he didn't groom her.
Mhm.
And on this next paragraph, because it's all separated, Next paragraph, the same size. It says, "It has come to light that Mica Miller struggled with mental illness, specifically bipolar disorder, which, when not properly managed, led to paranoid episodes and self-destructive behavior." And then it says, "Again, Mica suffered from mental illness." Why is there like a special emphasis? It's the same paragraph.
I
Why
would say for sure, yeah. I mean,
why would you need to state it again? It's the same damn paragraph. 2 sentences ago you just read that. So why do you need to read it on sentence 4?
no, it's not even necessary.
It's the focus is she had mental health issues. She had mental health issues. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's trying to, you know,
Yeah, no, it's definitely there's definitely this is the lawyer's letter, right?
yeah, the lawyer's letter on behalf of John Paul
Yeah,
Miller.
I'd say there's definitely an agenda there.
Yeah, just just keep drilling that part. Forget the fact that what wasn't it? How do you know for sure? Because I know I'm just starting to get into it. Like how far the gun was found from her, wasn't it? Is it 40 yards, or was the 40 yards from the car to where she was at?
I think it was 40 yards. Let me check. I do have it written somewhere.
I remember there being like 40 yards something, but I can't remember if it was because we got that video from the fisherman that talked about it too, and he kind of showed on a map. Yeah, exactly. Reality. They want you to put it in a box and categorize it and say, yeah, this is. Forget the fact that the evidence doesn't make sense. This is here and that's there. Even like, like they were saying, it's a park ranger only area too. If you're on the phone with 911 and you want people to be able to find you, why are you going into a park ranger only area? Why would, if you're that worried and you're that worried to call 911 and sit there and be patient so people can find you.
Yeah. And I mean, I spoke to somebody who used to work in the field who said it's actually very strange to call 911 because that causes a rush. Usually what you'll have is like a letter or an email that's scheduled so that you don't feel pressured to get everything right that quickly, because 911, their job is to get there. So maybe that could be something to do with it, maybe a delay. But I mean, that's a really interesting point. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
So yeah, and I found it interesting. Let's just keep pounding in the mental illness. If she really was, if those things, because her family said her dad and her sister were talking about how she didn't exhibit any signs of any kind of mental health issues until later on. And if you're hearing these stories about the stuff that took place from when she first became a babysitter for them and on, where do you think the traumatic shit came from that creates those mental health issues as well?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. He says they continue to say, we wish to emphasize that after a thorough investigation by the Robeson County, North Carolina Sheriff's Office, It has been conclusively determined that Miss Miller's death was the result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. This finding completely exonerates Pastor Miller of any wrongdoing. These baseless claims and false reporting have caused immense distress, and harm to Pastor Miller and his family, and needs to stop immediately. Yeah, he's been there's been even people, out on social media that has been threatened, from this gentleman.
I've heard. Yeah. And I mean, also, like, the event being self-inflicted doesn't mean that he's completely free of wrongdoing. That's not the same thing. I mean, that's what they're saying.
Well, CG, I know some that received a text and opinion. What? That some received a text message and a pin from her husband. I don't understand what you. What is that? I know some that have received a text message and a pin from her husband telling her where to find his.
I don't understand.
Well, this is a video about the feds now assisting in the investigation. I don't know how much, but let me hit the like. This came out yesterday, so hopefully this has some more information on exactly how much he shot and sent her the location first. What? What? Are from a different case, or is that from a different case? So this is the video about the feds assisting, and I'll drop the link for this in chat for you guys as well.
There's a new twist in the death of a South Carolina pastor's wife as the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office are now joining the investigation. 30-year-old Mica Miller died by an apparent suicide back in April. But after a local investigation was conducted, the feds will now be assisting in the probe. Here are some surveillance photos from Mica's last day alive. Take a look. She appears to purchase a firearm from a nearby pawn shop before police say she killed herself. Now, Pastor John Paul Miller released a statement via his attorney denouncing any wrongdoing, saying, quote, baseless claims should stop immediately. John Paul Miller has not been charged relating to this case. So we want to be very clear with that. Our question, though, this morning is, could this apparent suicide become a criminal case? I have three great guests on the program to talk about it with me. Let me bring them in now. In the studio, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Noah Pines. Standing by remotely, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Franz Borchardt, and entertainment reporter Kinsey Schofield. Great to see you all. This case...
I've never heard of any of these people. Let me see who it is again. Hold on, I gotta hear these names again. See if they ring a bell.
Three great guests on the program to talk about it with me. Let me bring them in now. In the studio, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Noah Pines. Standing by remotely, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Franz Borchardt, and entertainment reporter Kinsey Schofield. Great to see you all. This case is so heartbreaking and also somewhat mysterious. Noah, would you start us off on the conversation, please? Your thoughts on whether this could turn into a criminal matter?
Well, we've seen a couple of suicide cases where people have gotten charged, but typically those people encourage the other person to commit suicide. I think that was a case that was covered here on Court TV maybe last year or the year before. It was a girl with a young, I think it was a high school student.
Right.
But, without some sort of encouragement, just if he's a horrible husband and posted naked pictures of her online and, psychologically abused her, for them to then say, well, she killed herself because of that, would be very difficult, if not impossible, to do criminally. You'd need some sort of encouragement to even get there.
Sure. Appreciate it, Noah. Franz Burkhardt, to you next, please. What would you like to add to that, knowing this marriage was almost over? We know that Mica Miller had just served the pastor with divorce papers just days before this event. Your thoughts, please.
So to have a crime at a bare minimum, lowest standard in the criminal justice system, you have to have probable cause that more likely than not a crime occurred. And without evidence that a crime occurred, what we're left with is someone who sounded like she wanted to take her own life. And that nugget about the fact that her marriage was ending was certainly something that would give her a motive to do it. Tragic, unnecessary, horrible way to end a life when you take your own life. That being said, I am going to be open to hearing what theory a crime happened and whether or not there's sufficient evidence at the lowest bar, Julie, at the lowest bar, more likely than not, that probably.
You know what is weird? All these other photos of her, you see her wearing these colorful and flowery and very artistic type style of clothing. And I don't know why it didn't hit me earlier, but look, it's all black. It's all black. It's not your vibrant colors and your sundresses and your normal attire that you're usually in. I mean, these are the photos we're seeing. I'm seeing all these colorful, beautiful dresses and these outfits, and then I'm looking at this and I'm like, damn, it's like
it is different. Yeah.
Like she's gonna rappel into a some kind of movie scene with Mission Impossible or something.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed that. But yeah.
Work uniform? What was she doing for work?
Yeah, I also wanted to know where she was before, because apparently it said that the camera footage from their ring cam showed her getting home, and then she was home for about half an hour and then went out again. But they didn't really say if they know where she was before that.
So she was okay, hold on. So she was planning on doing it, and she went to work that day?
I don't know where she was.
Does anybody? Because she was going to work? What does she do for work that you wear? So she got dressed like she was going to work, but then instead went and bought a gun? See, why would you get dressed for work if you knew that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know, but she also had a bag.
She had,
a bag she packed.
That doesn't make sense.
Why would you get okay, if you plan on getting your protection before you go to work because you think something's gonna happen, because all this shit's been happening already, tires.
Yeah, it's like it was a really, really last minute decision. I mean,
Like if you're going to purchase a gun at a pawn shop, you don't know how long it might be. So if you're going to do that before you go to work, that's, you'd have to give yourself quite a bit of time, just because how do you know the store's not going to be busy? How do you know you're not going to have to wait? How do you know that you might not even find what you're looking for? You might, especially if you're going to a pawn shop, you might have to look to see what's available first. Then you go off. You don't just. This is a decent purchase. You don't just. Yeah, I want that one, and you grab it and go. You already should have an idea of what you're looking for before you go in. See what's available. I mean, these things take time. Right before work, that doesn't.
mm-mm.
You don't get dressed for work if you're not gonna go to work. So, I don't know.
It's weird.
Just doesn't make sense.
Um,
Well, yeah, I see a lot about the necklace too. What about the necklace? Like she was wearing it in a video here, and then he was wearing it or something, or I don't know. What's up, Chris?
Broke that day.
Something about the
Didn't
necklace.
didn't the family say that she did have some bruising? I mean, I know that could have been
The
older. They didn't
family.
really.
The
Her.
family's saying they got photos of
Hmm.
bruising on the wrists and hands. Like somebody, the dad was saying, like somebody. Have you seen that one that came out with the dad and the sister? Because we can watch
I
it.
haven't yet. I
Yeah,
haven't yet. I've been.
we can watch it again. It's a good one. They talk about how they talk about like how the hand and the bruising looks like somebody was, like grabbing the hand to. Yeah, it's very interesting. I saw. Yeah, we'll check it out again because
Yeah, if you guys don't mind repeating it,
No.
sorry.
No, it really is a good one. We'll check it out here after this one because I know some people haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I just was I don't know, I just didn't understand that.
When you take your own life. That being said, I am going to be open to hearing what theory a crime happened and whether or not there's sufficient evidence at the lowest bar, Julie, at the lowest bar, more likely than not, that probable cause exists. I'm open to hearing about it. I just haven't seen it yet.
Sure. And Franz, appreciate that point. As we know, John Paul Miller not charged here, completely innocent, cloaked in the presumption of innocence, no charges at all, and he may never face any charges. We just know this investigation has become broader. Now that the federal government is involved, it's a little bit different. Kinsey Schofield, this is where I want to bring you in, please. Do you think that the public outcry about this may have had something to do with the investigation continuing to grow larger and have more assistance?
Great question. I think it's the public outcry and Miller's family. You know, they just recently released these text messages from JP at the top of the Daily Mail this morning, where Mica is seeking refuge at a friend's house and JP is sending text messages threatening those people, saying he's armed. You know, the family really wants justice for their daughter, and they are speaking out through attorneys that say, we want to see her cellular telephone. We want to talk about the scratches on her body that we have photographs of. And they're really concerned because, Mica told her father she was buying that gun for self-defense. And Mica had a hair appointment in the next few days. And she was talking to friends about planning a life beyond this chaos.
Right, Kinsey. Yeah, it just seemed to come somewhat out of nowhere. It didn't, seem to make a whole lot of sense, which I think was why everybody had pause initially questioning, was it a suicide? And yet the evidence is pointing to that. And that's what the sheriff's investigation in Robeson County has determined at this point. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the moments before and after Mica's death. I've got a Facebook video posted by her prior to her death. And also we've got her husband, Pastor John Paul Miller's statement to his church after he learned of her passing. Let's watch.
I just wanted to give you a dare today. I dare you to do something either good for yourself or someone else, because like the second greatest command, love your neighbor as yourself. And it makes the enemy so mad.
I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And yeah, it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And we're going to have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. And so it's all I can, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And she wasn't, y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally. And then
What's up, Hope? Yeah, we checked that out last night. We'll be checking it out again here in a little bit.
she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her. And so I'm sure there'll be more details to come, but just keep our family in your prayers.
Our next question, what do the Miller's words reveal? Back to our power panel. Kinsey Schofield, I'd love to start with you on this one, please. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think Mica was definitely struggling with something and was trying to communicate it through a lot of her social media posts. There's also video of her talking through how people can leave abusive situations. And I think one of the reasons people are so touched by this is because she seems so beautiful, full of life and positive. And, it is just devastating because her husband stood on a pulpit and said such horrible things about her, even in that video we saw. Why are you talking about her mental health right now? Why are you in that position to do that? So I'm very frustrated by this case. I feel so horrible for this family.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what it was, 40 meters. It was 40 something, 120 feet shell casings from where she was. And
I also
multiple.
noticed, yeah, the self-induced is, I also thought that was weird, because it's supposed to be like self-inflicted, and self-induced. It's kind of a little bit of leeway in that wording, but I don't think that's what the police said. I think that's just what John Paul Miller said. So maybe he's not experienced with, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I know, Hope. It doesn't, like, when it comes to the medical, with South Carolina, Hope, when it comes to the medical examiner determining suicide, right? Isn't it kind of like the medical examiner saying hit and run for Stephen Smith? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you see the evidence clearly doesn't say this is what it was for sure, and you're just dismissing it as something else. It's that's why when I first heard about it, I was like, what's up with this medical but this is what's crazy is you got North Carolina in it too. North Carolina has a part in it as well. I'd like to know, are the park rangers certified, or do they go through training on how to properly collect and preserve evidence? Because if they're not, the shell casings ain't going nowhere. You can wait until somebody that is properly trained to do it.
Yeah.
And one
Just
thing we
flag it photographic weight. Yeah.
One thing we found out
No.
tonight was that the park ranger collected the evidence. It's just, I don't know. but there's 2 states involved, so it's not just South Carolina, it's North Carolina too. Man, that's a lot of working together. I don't know. 911 call like she didn't know which park she was at. She had a ratio. She had a ratio on her hand. She had a what? Seems like yeah, she didn't. Yeah, she was trying to like figure out where she was at so she could let people know. But she had a ratio. Well, that's the thing too. He said crying. He said he heard crying, and then 2 to 3 minutes later he heard a shot. And then he said, "Oh no, I hope something bad didn't happen." And then he saw 2 or 3 people. He said, "I saw 2 or 3 people on a boat, and I asked them if they heard that, and they said yes." And then he like pulled out his phone and showed on the map. We can here, we'll check that one out before we go over. Let me finish this one real quick. There's just 2 more minutes on this, and then we'll share the fisherman interview again.
Preach, Kinsey. I love everything you said there. Preach. Franz Borghardt, to you next. Your thoughts on what you took away watching those 2 clips from the Millers. And I think we've got you muted, Franz. You want to double check, make sure your mic's okay. Let me go to Noah while you check on that. Go ahead, Noah.
I know exactly what Franz was going to say.
Yeah.
Franz was going to say that the pastor seems, he's pretty narcissistic, right? Just like Kinsey said, he's sitting there talking really about, I mean, his wife is passed and he's like, well, you know, she had mental health problems. I mean, it's just not the proper thing to say for anybody, especially somebody who's a pastor whose job, you know, is probably to talk people through grief. You know, one of the things I can say about, I'm not a doctor, obviously. I've had 2 clients who have committed suicide. One before they were going to prison, and then one the day after I told him his case was being dismissed.
No kidding.
And, you know, from
After
talking,
a dismissal.
correct. And from talking to other people about clients, you know, when people who do commit suicide, you can never figure out what's going on in their head. It's not the best day of their life or the worst day of their life. There's no, you know, set test. And I'm sure if you had a, you know, mental health professional, they would tell you the same thing. It's just almost impossible to figure out what's causing somebody to do that.
That's a great point. Right, because, you know, if we were able to pick up on the signs, it would never happen, right? You know, it's something that, you know, it's done very covertly, and anybody who's lost a loved one to suicide knows just how painful it is, because you beat yourself up thinking, should I have recognized this or that, or what if I said this differently? And mental health professionals will tell you the person was going to do what they were going to do, regardless of what you. Right. And Franz, I think we've got your mic all squared away. Final thoughts. Take us home, if you would kindly.
So this pastor is not doing anything to help himself. Even if he were innocent as the day is long, his statements before this incident just, it doesn't help, right? It's not what we want from pastors. The other takeaway is this, and I think it's been alluded to and said, people don't wear their mental health issues in a visible way always. Sometimes people who seem beautiful, you know, sweet, like they have the entire world together, they don't. And so I appreciate that the family wants an investigation. They are going to get that. I don't know that they're going to be satisfied no matter what happens. And that's understandable, right? So I'll be praying for them. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm also hoping that this pastor becomes a little bit more gentler and kinder, and hopefully, you know, stops talking about people's mental health in front of large groups of people.
Right.
Wow. Damn. Which is true. I mean, gosh, that's like talking. It's kind of like the statements it's like just beating it in people's thoughts
Yeah.
so they don't forget. That's what they revert back to. You know, oh yeah, it's because of mental health. Here's that fisherman video. And you'll hear what he says. It's what's up, Yvette? Here's the link for this. This is he'll say cry, then he says crying. Then he says, crying. 2 to 3 minutes later, he hears a shot. He's going, oh no, I just heard some crying. Now I heard a shot. Oh crap. And then 2 or 3 people come by on a boat. And he says, hey, did you hear this? And they're like, yep. Then he shows you where at. So you'll see where everything, there's like a diagram for you. There's the link. This is the interview with the fisherman.
We start tonight with continuing coverage on the death of Mica Miller, the estranged wife of John Paul Miller, former pastor at the Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach. This week, the Robeson County Sheriff's Office, they released a timeline of what happened the day Mica died by a self-inflicted gunshot wound at the Lumber River State Park. Now, tonight, the man who reported hearing Mica crying and the sound of a gunshot at that state park is sharing how his character is now under attack. He says it's destroying his life, and he wants the baseless attacks that he's seeing on social media to stop. He talked with ABC 15's Tanya Brown. She joins us now live from the Robeson County Sheriff's Office in Lumberton.
Andrew, the fisherman says he never thought fully cooperating with the police investigation and telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth would lead to him being unfairly targeted on social media. I met 55-year-old Johnny Jacobs today at an undisclosed location in Robeson County. He didn't want me to show his face because he's concerned for his safety after being bashed and targeted on social media.
It's like putting my life in danger with some of the things that's been said.
Jacobs tells me he'd been fishing for several hours on April 27th at the Lumber River State Park when he heard a faint cry. He says 2 or 3 minutes later, he heard a gunshot.
I said, oh my God, don't tell me, because the crying had stopped. I said, don't tell me something's happened, don't tell me something. I was getting ready to get out of there. Another 3 people came into the lake on a boat, and I plainly asked them, I said, did y'all hear that gunshot? They said yes.
Jacob says he couldn't see anything because of all the trees blocking his view.
So where's more of the conversation with the people that were on the boat? Like, I would have had it like, where'd you hear it? Did you hear anything else? What direction? Did you notice anything before? To me, if somebody says yes, I hope that LE was able to talk to these people on a boat too.
I mean, yeah, I hope so, but I don't know.
And why would this guy be getting a bunch of drama? Good morning, Marlena. Why would he be getting a bunch of drama? Drama from speculation. Drama from JP because he told a story. I don't know. Is that what this is like? Is this his like whatever's happening to like the true crime, like all the mudslinging all over the place? Has it really like gone to this level to where somebody is talking to a news station about what he heard and then he's getting fucking dumb shit? Why would it's got to be from him.
I don't know. I mean, it is getting more and more common for this to happen. I mean, he hasn't exactly done anything outrageous or said anything incriminating in any direction. He's just like given facts. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's because of that, Thunder Horse, and that's not how you spell it anyway. That's not how you spell it anyway. But I don't think that's why. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the guy that's given the eyewitness account. Sounds to me like somebody was out fishing and heard it. My thing is the people in the boat. That's pretty odd to me.
Yeah.
Why were they on a boat? I hope they talked to those people on the boat. I mean, when you look at the picture, when it gets to this picture in a second, you see the fisherman get out his phone and show a map and show you, like, with a pen, like, where everything, where he heard stuff. It almost looks like, who says the boat wasn't part of it? It could be. I don't know. You'll see.
At the Lumber River State Park when he heard a faint cry. He says 2 or 3 minutes later, he heard a gunshot.
I said, oh my God, don't tell me, because the crying had stopped. I said, don't tell me something's happened. Don't tell me something. I was getting ready to get out of there. Another 3 people came into the lake on a boat, and I plainly asked them, I said, did y'all hear that gunshot? They said yes.
Jacob says he couldn't see anything because of all the trees blocking his view.
This here's the park, of course. This is where I put my boat in at.
He showed me a map on his phone of the Lumber River State Park to better show his location on the river that day.
You see how thick the woods are. That's why I couldn't see nothing. So right along in.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna back up just a little bit. Okay. That right there. That's all water. He's pointing right to the edge. So if you see 3 fucking people on a boat and they heard the shot, who says that they... Where are you parking a car? At the observation deck? That's a long walk.
Yeah.
Before, you got dressed to go to work. That's a long walk. 40 yards, 120 feet. That seems like a hell of a lot. Hold on. What's it called again? Lumber
State Park.
What's it called? Lumberjack State Park?
I think it's just Lumber State Park.
Lumber State Park?
Mm-hmm.
Lumber River? Is it Lumber River State Park? Lumber River. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Lumber River.
Okay. Okay, so what part? Is there different parts here? So this is the state park. Where's the lake? That's not a lake. That's like trees. There's a river. What's the address of what? You still go down? River Walk. What am I missing here? Where's this lake that this dude was at? Hold on, let me see. God's Road Mill Home Trail.
It's a bend on the river, not a lake.
Well, that guy, what? Oh, is he talking about? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Observation deck. Because it was zoomed in, I thought it was a lake. Okay. So this is the spot right here that he's talking about. He's saying right here is where. So if you go back to this, okay, he's basically saying right where it comes up a little bit. So you got here, here, here. So right here is what he's pointing at in this part. Observation deck. So observation deck. Okay. And that's the deck. It doesn't. To me, it looks like you're going into some thick brush.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
How do I? So right here, that's the best picture you can get. Let me see here. Let me try something else. It probably won't be any different though. Yeah, same thing. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing different. Same image. But But here's the observation deck. When you're looking out, you're seeing like the swamp area right here and a bunch of trees around it. Like, is there like a walking path trail that leads back there? Because I mean, when you're looking at this picture, this is standing on the front of the observation deck. This is standing at the entrance to the observation deck. This is the observation deck where I don't see any you're telling me that you're going to walk through all of this? Then why were you on the phone with 911 telling you wanted to make sure people found you? Like, and you're here's the observation deck. There's the little body of water, the trees around it, the swamp, and you're all the way up here. There's no trails. I don't know.
Along in here is where I found Mica's belongings at.
He says he found Mica's backpack, glasses, and cell phone on the bank and gave them all to deputies on scene. He says he didn't know Mica and has no reason to lie to police. Johnny Jacobs wants the unfair targeting against him to end.
I want this to stop as far as me. I don't want to make this all about me because I'm still thinking about Mica. I'm trying to respect her family, and I got total respect for them, and I am so sorry for what they're going through. I never thought my day would turn out like that.
The Robeson County medical examiner has also been bashed on social media for how he ruled Mica's death as a suicide. Now, the North Carolina State Medical Examiner's Office, I reached out to them today to get information on if an autopsy was done on Mica's body, and I am still waiting to learn that answer. Live in Lumberton, Tanya.
The medical examiner's upset. Yeah. It is you're coming. Riley Strain, no foul play. Wait a minute. You don't even know like where the dude's at. There's no video of him something like, what do you mean no foul play right off the bat? Same thing. Fishermen always have a footpath around the water's edge. The people in the boat, were they questioned? How come the people in the boat ain't talking to the news like this guy was? Something's fishy. All right, we're going to check out that video again. This is with the dad and the sister. Talking about the bruising and the odd things about everything that's been going on. Now, this was a really telling interview because there was some stuff that we were just learning last night from this. So we're going to watch this again. Here's the link for this. And then we'll get into some more of this stuff here after this. But I know some people haven't seen it. You haven't seen it, Rosie. And it's a very good one. So we're going to check that out. Then we're going to see this holy update thing about the case from last night. We're going to check that out after this. So here's this sidebar with Jesse Neutron.
And heartbreaking death announcement at the end of a church service has now taken all sorts of twists and turns, and it has morphed into a story that has captivated the nation. I'm talking about 30-year-old Mica Miller, who was found dead at Lumber River State Park just across the state line in North Carolina on April 27th. She had reportedly purchased a gun in the days before her apparent suicide from a pawn shop. That Sunday, her husband, 44-year-old John Paul Miller, announced his wife's death during a recent service at the church where he's a pastor, Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And Miller announced, quote, "I got a call late last night that my wife has passed away. It was self-induced and it was up in North Carolina. You all pray for me and my kids and everybody. You all knew she wasn't well mentally and she needed medicine that was hard to get to her. I'm sure there will be more details to come, but keep her family in your prayers." And then Miller asked for people not to discuss his wife's death outside of the church, but as you can imagine, news spread like wildfire. And the woman's family has immediately become suspicious of this. Why? Well, John Paul Miller and his first wife, they divorced in 2015, and then he and Mica married in 2017. Mica's family says that John Paul, who's 14 years older than Mica, first met her when she was a member of his church youth group at age 14. Now, there have been accusations that he groomed her. Not totally clear what exactly that means, but we'll explore it. Now, Mica was also reportedly married previously to John Paul's friend, Jeremy. So you see these apparent connections. Okay, but now we fast forward, and it's our understanding, based on reporting, that Mica had filed for divorce from John Paul 6 months ago. It's also our understanding the divorce petition was withdrawn, but then a few days after that, John Paul filed for separate support and maintenance, financial support, because the couple were still legally married. Then Mica had also filed for separate support and maintenance. There was a scheduled hearing for next month, but of course, Mica died. Mica's family claims that in the days before her death, she filed for a no-contact order. And I believe that she was still pursuing divorce against John Paul. Now, police and the medical examiner have ruled Mica's death a suicide. And one of the ways that they have ruled that is not only based on the forensic evidence at the scene, but a 911 phone call that was placed by Mica to law enforcement in North Carolina gives a lot of insight into her apparent state of mind. So I warn you, this is really tough to hear.
Robeson County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Let me see. You don't know where you're at?
A national park.
Tell me what's happened.
I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
Okay, ma'am. Just listen to what I'm saying, okay? Let me make sure I got the exact location where you're at, okay? Just 1 minute.
We've now learned that the Robeson County Sheriff's Office is requesting that the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI investigate Mica's death. Whether the FBI is actually involved yet kind of remains unclear. It may be more of a jurisdictional issue about why they could be involved because of where she died on a state park out in North Carolina. But as I mentioned, Mica's family appears to be suspicious of all of this. And one of the things to note is that John Paul does have a criminal record. Research indicates that in 1998, Miller entered a no-contest plea in Horry County, South Carolina, to a charge of assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature, meaning that Miller did great bodily injury to someone or likely was going to injure someone. He was given 500 hours of community service, was put on probation for several years, and a 4-year prison sentence was suspended. In 2022, South Carolina court records indicate that Miller was pardoned. In 2000, out in Illinois, he apparently pled guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. In 2004, out in Illinois, it appears that Miller was charged with domestic battery, but the prosecutors seemed to decline to move forward with the case and were unable to find sentencing information for that case. Now, in one of her...
What? Another time aggravated with a deadly weapon, and they did what?
South Carolina court records indicate that Miller was pardoned. In 2000, out in Illinois, he apparently pled guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. In 2004, out in Illinois, it appears that Miller was charged with domestic battery, but the prosecutors seemed to decline to move forward with the case and were unable to find sentencing information.
Sentencing information? What?
What does that mean?
We're unable to find sentencing information? What is that? Domestic battery. This is Illinois. Listen, Illinois is freaking crazy about their gun laws, yo. And he got this and then domestic, and then they
service, was put on probation for several years, and a 4-year prison sentence was suspended. In 2022, South Carolina court records indicate that Miller was pardoned.
Hold on.
1998, Miller entered a no contest plea in Horry County, South Carolina, to a charge of assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature, meaning that Miller did great bodily injury to someone or likely was going to injure someone. He was given 500 hours of community service, was put on probation for several years, and a 4-year prison sentence was suspended. In 2020,
and then it keeps going, and then you hear this.
22, South Carolina court records indicate that Miller was pardoned. In 2000, out in Illinois, he apparently pled guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. In 2004, out in Illinois, it appears that Miller was charged with domestic battery, but the prosecutors seemed to decline to move forward with the case and were unable to find sentencing information for that case. Now, in one of her final posts on Facebook,
what the hell?
Mica uploaded a selfie, and she uploaded.
Right? Why is this dude a freaking? He's a preacher.
So sorry, I don't completely understand. They declined to go forward with it, but then why would they need sentencing information if they didn't even go?
Yeah,
Am I misunderstanding?
I don't understand. Risky says his assault charge was he hit a female twice with a vehicle. Oh my gosh.
What? Seriously?
What the? It's like when we were watching that his one charge was sealed as he pleaded that he needed to seal certain parts of his record so he could obtain a permit to own a. Records have been released. Yeah, I haven't. We're just kind of getting into it. In Drugger, 100 feet. Wasn't his ex-wife? Wasn't it his ex-wife? What the hell? Yeah, right. Hope floats. Money and power. Jeez. Yeah, what does this mean? Like they couldn't find the sentencing info. I've never heard of that.
Entered a no contest plea in Horry County, South Carolina, to a charge of assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature, meaning that Miller did great bodily injury to someone or likely was going to injure someone. He was given 500 hours of community service, was put on probation for several years, and a 4-year prison sentence was suspended. In 2022, South Carolina court records indicate that Miller was pardoned. In 2000, out in Illinois, he apparently pled guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. In 2004, out in Illinois, it appears that Miller was charged with domestic battery, but the prosecutors seemed to decline to move forward with the case and were unable to find sentencing information for that.
Prosecutors unable to find sentencing. Hold on. Prosecutors
to move forward. Yeah.
Let's see.
It's weird.
Unable to find sentencing. I'm trying to see if there's anything that comes up. Unable because it was sealed? unable to because it was sealed, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, normally it would say that the victim didn't press charges. And that's kind of what he says, but then he ends it with this too, and it's like, huh?
Out in Illinois, he apparently pled guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. In 2004, out in Illinois, it appears that Miller was charged with domestic battery, but the prosecutors seemed to decline to move forward with the case.
Oh, they just seemed to decline.
And were unable to find sentencing information.
They declined to move forward with the case, which means that the victim probably didn't want to appear in court, but then also says, and couldn't find.
Here's that Miller was charged with domestic battery, but the prosecutors seemed to decline to move forward with the case and were unable to find sentencing information for that.
And were unable to find sentencing. Not only they declined to move forward, why wouldn't they just say that they declined to move forward? Why would he say, and couldn't find sentencing information?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense together, because if they didn't move forward, then that's the end of it, right?
Right. Why do you need to have a and couldn't find sentencing information? Something seems very odd with that.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm surprised Jessie didn't go into that deeper. What a beautiful dress she's wearing. I'm surprised Jessie didn't go into that any deeper, because when I don't know. Need to look into that some more. That's odd.
That case. Now, in one of her final posts on Facebook, Mica uploaded a selfie, and she uploaded the selfie with the caption, "When terrible, terrible, terrible things happen to you, you all know what I'm talking about. RPF, resting peace face." She included the hashtags still blessed and God is good. She also been posting videos on her social media talking about leaving abusive situations.
It doesn't matter what gender you are, abuse is abuse. And you are the bride of Christ. And my Bible says that he took all the abuse you could think of for you so that you didn't have to live that life of slavery and bondage and pain.
According to a friend, Mica had left for a different church other than Solid Rock. John Paul gave an interesting, perhaps the best word to describe it is an arguably strange eulogy, different eulogy at the Solid Rock Church, while family members held a different memorial service at the beach.
She'd get tourists to take our picture, and I say, "Okay, thank you." She said, "Oh no, this isn't good. Give it back to them." And they do it again, But she told me she was so creative. Everything she did was so creative. What's the next picture? What's the next picture? She'd stop. We'd be on the way to like a show or something. She'd say, "Stop, I got to get a picture." I said, "We're going to be late." She said, "I don't care." What's the next picture? Next picture.
John Paul also said that he wanted so badly for her to be alive that he repeatedly tried to see her body and even tried to raise her from the dead. There were reports that Reverend Charles Randall fired Miller as Solid Rock's pastor, but Randall disputed that during a recent sermon, saying, quote, "I have released him from ministerial functions for a minute to get some healing and some counseling and some guidance. You can't go through these things like this and just step right back on the same day." Family and friends have started using the hashtag Justice for Mica. Now, it's our understanding Mica's sister Sierra, who we're going to be speaking with in a minute, has filed a legal claim against both Miller and the church in connection with Mica's death. Court documents filed in Horry County Family Court accuse Solid Rock Church of colluding and conspiring with John Paul to defraud and deprive Mica The Daily Mail also reported that Mica contacted the Myrtle Beach Police Department on April 8th, just weeks before her death, to report that she had seen a lewd photo of herself in a Facebook group and believed her estranged husband, John Paul Miller, had posted it.
So that was the day before she posted the April 9th post having the resting peace face.
Yeah.
So that was the day
After her
before.
death, Miller admitted that he did post the photo. In a letter obtained by News Nation, seemingly addressed to Mica, it reads, quote, "I'm sorry for putting a picture of you on the internet. It was for less than 1 hour and immediately taken down. I was hurt that you're telling everyone horrible, intimate details of my past sin, and I just wanted to try and hurt you. Please forgive me. It was evil of me to do that." Mica had also reported back in March that she found a tracking device on her car at least twice and said that John Paul had her involuntarily committed to a hospital and stole her car while she was gone. Now, in a statement, John Paul Miller's lawyer, Russell Long, said, quote, "It has come to light that Mica Miller struggled with mental illness, specifically bipolar disorder, which when not properly managed led to paranoid episodes and self-destructive behavior. Some reports made by her in the recent past are nonsensical." He also added that a ruling of suicide by law enforcement completely exonerates Pastor Miller of any wrongdoing. Well, I am joined right now by Mica's father, Michael Francis. Thank you so much for coming on. And before we even get started, I just have to say I am so sorry for your loss, your family's loss. And as I mentioned to you before we started recording, I know this can't be easy talking about this and having this amplified and everybody speaking about it. So I know this must be a very difficult time. So my heart goes out to you and your family, and really appreciate you taking the time to come here and talk a little bit more about it.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to start off. How are you and the family doing right now?
We're struggling. You know, we're more united than ever as a family. You know, this is something that has really caused us to drop any little petty arguments or something and focus on what's important at this moment. So, you know, we have grieved off and on, but we've also been in fight mode off and on as far as legally and, you know, and speaking out for Mica.
Let's talk about that because, I want to be very clear here. Despite the findings from law enforcement that Mica had died by her own hand, that the sheriff's office saying John Paul was not in Robeson County when Mica died, do you believe there is more to the story, correct?
Yes, it's there's a lot of details that they did not cover, and because it was equivalent in their eyes to previous self-inflicted wounds, I believe the law allows them to do less work. It does not prevent them from doing more work. And since there were multiple shell casings found and a live round found, it already didn't make much sense. So it would seem that they would automatically do a complete toxicology, not just blood alcohol, and a complete autopsy, which they did not do. And we're just devastated that they didn't, because John Paul rushed the cremation process. During the briefing, we pressed pretty hard for more information and such, and the sheriff's office was trying to compress the briefing for us, and then they gave us a flash drive. It doesn't sound like Mica during the 911 call. She's so slow and so, you know, but then later there are, I haven't even heard them myself, honestly. I have someone who's going through all that for me and filtering the information, because otherwise the more information I get that sounds off, the more furious I get, and I need to be able to focus and control my emotions. So, but there was screaming going on and such, and that's not something indicative of a self-inflicted, you know, that's sounds like a fight. And with the bruising on her hands and on her arm, scratches on her hands, indicating defensive wounds. So very frustrating.
When you say defensive wounds. Is that something that was told to you by a medical professional when you talked about multiple casings there? Where did you get this information? And when you brought this information to law enforcement or brought it or mentioned to them, what did they say?
Okay, as far as finding out, the park ranger took us back to the scene and pointed out, here's where she would have been standing. Here's where the shell casings and the live round were, which also doesn't make sense. She knew how to use a weapon. She got the weapon for self-protection. She told me days beforehand, Dad, I really feel like I need a weapon for protection. And she knows how to use it. She's qualified. She's been through training. She's not going to charge the weapon and eject a live round. She already knows the first rule of gun, use is knowing the condition of the gun. So we got the information about the shells. I did it directly from the park ranger. And then when we brought that up to law enforcement, they just said, well, they had no answer. They really just had no answer why, any kind of, not even a speculation. They didn't even say, well, she probably did this, probably did that. They just said, this is what we have. And there is what would be an apparent bullet hole in a tree, which I have a picture of. And they just didn't seem to put the effort forth. So we're very disappointed in that.
So basically, they just said, here's the evidence. He said they didn't even come up with a scenario. Don't you come up with scenarios?
I mean, they seem to feel they didn't need to because of the ruling of it being self-inflicted. But, as he's saying, that doesn't actually prevent them from checking.
Well, when you go to a crime scene, you're supposed to explore all theories, thoughts, and opinions, possibilities.
Yeah, of course. You are.
And then don't you kind of based off your training, based off your common sense, and based off your knowledge, then you come to a certain, maybe it might not be one conclusion, it might be multiple conclusions, but you reach some kind of conclusion or some kind of scenario to make you go, okay, this is what is leading me to the decision to make this decision is based off of this, and this is how it could have happened. It could have happened this way, or this way, but there's always something, and you don't just hand them the evidence.
No, you're supposed to brainstorm it, especially if you're going to be putting together a report. So, evidence always requires interpretation. It can't actually tell you what happened without you connecting the dots of it. So you have to.
I like that. Evidence always requires interpretation.
It does.
I like that.
It's true.
Defensive wounds was that.
Oh, sorry. It is. You got to have some kind of idea. You can't just, okay, the person did this to themselves, even though this is here and that's there and that's there. You got to have some kind of, because how do you know that it's that? There's, I don't know. Do you think that Ellie would have to, do you think Ellie, when it comes to a family member and they're talking to them about the evidence, don't you think Ellie would tell them, this is what we think took place?
I don't know. I don't know what they're required to tell the family, but unless they've been told what to say, then I don't see why they wouldn't.
Well, think about a traffic accident and somebody passes away in a traffic accident and the family's going, okay, what do you they're not going to say, yeah, look, they, they passed away from a I would think that they're going to be like, look, this truck vehicle caused this reaction, and then this vehicle ended up going in this direction, and this is what took place. There's some kind of
mechanisms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, I don't know how they would usually do things there.
You would think they would. Her voice sounded differently. What I didn't hear was the South Carolina accent in that call, which I found was strange. She sounded strange in the 911. Some people think it was somebody else, not her, on the 911. We'll have to listen to that again. All right, this is more from the dad, and then the sister joins too. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't know what the accents are supposed to sound like. They sound similar to me.
I can't do a good country accent. AI voice.
Yeah, I've seen some people are saying that. I don't know.
The family believes it's an AI generated voice. We'll have to listen to it again. All right, more from the dad.
Just didn't seem to put the effort forth. So we're very disappointed in that.
And the defensive wounds, was that from the park ranger too, or?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we looked at her hands during the viewing. We took pictures of her from the viewing. It was the worst day of my life. And she had scratches on her arms on her hand. And the coroner in training had the chief coroner with her, but she spoke out and said, well, maybe that's from when they retrieved her from the water. And I said, okay, of course, maybe. So, was there blood in those scratches and such? They had no answer. Very disappointing. So I basically said the scratches indicate some type of scuffle or something, because the area where she was, there was no trees or anything anyway. There was no trees in the water. There was nothing there that would have scratched her hands the way they were. I mean, like this. So, it showed it indicated that there was, some type of pressure. That's where the bruise was, and just,
Well, Michael, here's the thing. And I hate to ask you this, and I know it must be difficult to revisit it, but when you mentioned the 911 phone call, when that came out, I think a lot of people who were suspecting there might be something there, they were convinced that that was the end of the story. When you mentioned that 911 phone call, you said there's something about the way that Mica sounded on the phone that sounded odd to you. What do you mean by that?
Absolutely. Very slow speech. She's a very happy-go-lucky, excitable person. And it was too slow. It was very slow. It was metered. It could have been done with an AI type of previous recordings where somebody would have had those words from her previously, or, whatever. And so it just doesn't make sense that he would go up there.
Do you have a theory as to what happened? Because authorities are saying, they crossed out his alibi of where he was. Do you have a theory as to what happened? And again, I know this is sensitive, so if you don't want to share it, I understand. But do you have a theory as to what you believe happened to your daughter?
Okay, well, I'll share what we spoke to about with the authorities, the sheriff in North Carolina. Also, as far as with his location, we've seen pictures of his truck. It had dark windows. Was it even him in there? Where's pictures of him physically there? We haven't seen those. They have not been produced. If someone else has them, we would like to see them to prove that he was there, because otherwise it could be anybody in that truck. So the theory would be that because she had multiple tracking devices put on her car previously, that she was followed out to the park or forced to go out to the park, and they either follow her out there or there's no reason for her to go out there. That's the main point as well. She's never been out there. We don't go up there. It's not a family spot. And she was off the trail enough into a park ranger only area that nobody knows about. And so the theory would be that she it was either tracked, and then they said, well, we didn't find a tracking device. Well, they could have removed it at the park. When the car was at the park and then it was collected by the authorities, they didn't check for a tracker, which blew my mind. They said, oh, we have all the evidence and everything. We asked them, was there a tracker on her car? And they said, well, we didn't check. And we were flabbergasted. This happened over and over during that interview. Why didn't you check that? We know that there was 3 or 4 trackers put on her vehicles. Why didn't you check to see if she was followed? They said, oh, there's no cameras, but we know she wasn't followed. Her car is just out here. And I said, well, there's no trackers. They said no tracker. I said, well, they could have removed it after they did the deed. So then Mica's mother, Angelita, she said, pretend this is Mica's hand. And she asked me, grab this hand. And then she pulled it up, and said, it looks like someone squeezed her hand and raised it up and shot. And there are defensive wounds from it and such. And that's the general idea of our theory, that somebody crushed her hand to hold the gun up to her head while she's fighting. Either them or someone else held her other hand or her other arm back because there's bruising on it from squeezing. Wow. And they forced it to look like that was self-inflicted. And a couple of rounds went off during the scuffle. One ejected was live. And then it finally happened the way they would want it to happen. And then dumped her in the water, probably 40 meters away from where the shell casings in the gun was found.
But the fisherman said one shot, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Hold on. Let me go back.
Yeah, I think a cry 3 or 4 minutes later, a shot.
Right.
Which is also a very long time, actually.
Let me see here. I'm going to go back to this real quick here.
On social media. I met 55-year-old Johnny Jacobs today at an undisclosed location in Robeson County. He didn't want me to show his face because he's concerned for his safety after being bashed and targeted on social media.
It's like putting my life in danger with some of the things that's been said.
Jacobs tells me he'd been fishing for several hours on April 27th at the Lumber River State Park when he heard a faint cry. He says 2 or 3 minutes later, he heard a gunshot.
I said, oh my God, don't tell me, because the crying had stopped. I said, don't tell me something's happened, don't tell me something. I was getting ready to get out of there. Another 3 people came into the lake on a boat, and I plainly asked them, I said, did y'all hear that gunshot? They said,
gunshot. Gunshot. She said shot, he said shot. Not shots.
Yeah.
What's up, Nana? So he's saying shot. He asked the people in the boat if they heard a shot. Why not shots?
To look like that was self-inflicted. And a couple of rounds went off during the scuffle. One ejected was live. And then it finally happened the way they would want it to happen. And then dumped her in the water.
Okay, so he says a couple. So what's up here?
It doesn't make sense because he'd been there for, he said, several hours before, so it's not like he missed anything.
And he would say shots if he heard shots. He's saying shot.
Yeah.
No, we just played it. We'll play it again. He said shot. She said shot. He said shot. Asked the people in the boat if they heard a shot. There's nothing about shots plural. Here, listen.
On social media. I met 55-year-old Johnny Jacobs today at an undisclosed location in Robeson County. He didn't want me to show his face because he's concerned for his safety after being bashed and targeted on social media.
It's like putting my life in danger with some of the things that's been said.
Jacobs tells me he'd been fishing for several hours on April 27th at the Lumber River State Park when he heard a faint cry. He's
right. Fishing for several hours. So if somebody shot and then it happened a while later, he still would have heard it.
Yeah.
He was there for several hours fishing, heard crying. A couple minutes later, he says, heard a shot. I'm not hearing shots. He would have heard shots. Something's up.
Says 2 or 3 minutes later, he heard a gunshot.
I said, oh my God, don't tell me. Don't tell me, because the crying had stopped. I said, don't tell me something's happened. Don't tell me something. I was getting ready to get out of there.
Don't tell me.
Another 3 people came into the lake on a boat, and I plainly asked them, I said, did y'all hear that gunshot? They said yes.
Jacob says he couldn't see anything because of all the trees blocking his view.
This here's the park, of course. This is where I put my boat in at.
He showed me a map on his phone of the Lumber River State Park to better show his location on the river that day.
You see how thick the woods are? That's why I couldn't see nothing. So right along in here is where I found Mica's belongings at.
He says he found Mica's backpack, glasses, and cell phone on the bank and gave them all to deputies on scene. He says he didn't know Mica and has no reason to lie to police. Johnny Jacobs wants the unfair targeting against him to end.
I want this to stop as far as me. I don't want to make this all.
So he is just a local. He was just a local out there fishing. Doesn't know her. And heard something. Why shots and why shot? There's
discrepancy, yeah.
Well, I mean, when it comes to fishermen, usually they're in the same spot for a while. They find a spot and they kind of put the anchor down and they hang out for a while. If they move, it's usually, little bits here and there. When you're looking at it, I mean, I would imagine you could hear a gunshot. You're in a state park, so that means there's a lot of wilderness. I'd imagine you'd hear a gunshot going off even if you weren't next to him.
Yeah, definitely.
This guy right here emptied out her purse? What? Whoa, 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 whoa. What? No, are you... Nuh-uh. This guy went through her shit? Went through her purse, took stuff out, and then gave it back to her. What?
Wow.
What? Oh my gosh, everybody's saying that shit, and he's like, I don't want no
Yeah.
I'm just a fisherman on a boat. What?
And has no reason to lie to police. Johnny Jacobs wants the unfair targeting against him to end.
I want this to stop as far as me. I don't want to make this all about me because I'm still thinking about Mica. I'm trying to respect her family, and I got total respect for them, and I am so sorry for what they're going through. I never thought my day would turn out like that.
Well, don't go what? You don't go through somebody's shit in the first place because you don't want somebody going through your shit. Uncut. What? There's an interview where he admits that, or what? What? There's an interview.
Yeah, people are saying so.
What the fuck? Huh. What's the title of it? She has iPhone sunglasses in there. Here, let me go back to this. We'll listen to the rest of this here.
Her other arm back because there's bruising on it from squeezing.
What?
And they forced it to look like that was self-inflicted. And a couple of rounds went off during the scuffle. One ejected was live, and then it finally happened the way they would want it to happen. And then dumped her in the water, probably 40 meters away from where the shell casings in the gun was found. The water doesn't flow there. It's a slough. It's still. It just sinks. And it actually flows when it sinks, when it recesses, it goes the other direction from where she was found. So her body, even if it was put in the water right there, would not have flowed the direction where she was found. It would flow the other way. So it would be possible that the incident occurred right there and the shell casings, and then the gun was dumped in the water right there. And then she was carried farther 40 meters back into a little bit more secluded area where she was found.
So Sierra Francis now joins the conversation. This is Mica's sister. Sierra, thank you so much for coming on. As I told your father, I just want to say again, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry for what you and your family are going through. Our hearts go out to you guys. And again, really appreciate you taking the time and being so generous with your time to come on and talk a little bit more about this. So I've already spoken to your father a lot about what you guys believe might have happened here. I want to talk to you about this legal claim that you have filed against Mr. Miller and the church. Walk us through what that claim is and what you're hoping to get from that.
As far as the the legal side of things, I don't have perfect details of everything. I'm just trying to pick up where Mica left off and make sure that justice is served and that we are able to remain over her estate and make sure that it is used or allotted in the way that she would have wanted it to.
Do you know anything about the FBI being a part of this investigation now? Were you told anything about that, what they might be looking into?
So we are aware that Robeson County did come out and say that the FBI is involved, but as far as what they're investigating and the extent of their involvement, the family's not sure.
Okay. I wanted to ask you this, both of you this. So look, the main argument, and it's being put forward by Mr. Miller, and what we've seen is Mica, they say, had suffered from mental illness. Do you know anything about that? Anything you could tell us about that? Because one of the things that Mr. Miller has said is he had this power of attorney set up for that reason. What can you tell us about what Mica might have been going through?
So before Mica married John Paul, she had no signs, no history, no indications of mental illness at all.
And why did she presumably agree to a power of attorney? Usually the person who sets up would have to agree to it and sign to it.
He had every way to control her, and he was very good at manipulating the situation.
And she thought that he would be doing the right thing. And she wanted to trust that Mr. Miller Jr. was actually doing the right thing for them until she got away from him and had more time when she spent more time with us. to peel off some of those layers and realize what was going on. And then she started becoming herself again and got a job and everything else, and was doing fine and was happy-go-lucky self again, excited about the future, and which is something he did not like. Just, just very terrible.
There are these allegations that he groomed her. What do we mean by that?
He had his sights set on her from a very young age. I would guess probably 14 years old, 14 or 15 when we first came to the church. And he made sure that he kept her exactly where he wanted her, to the point of who she married, what job she picked up after she was, 18. He got her married, and then he made her his secretary and his babysitter and his let's go to lunch person, and oh, you're so beautiful.
And then when she was married, same thing, best friends with her husband, her previous husband, and manipulated the situation where he could have him doing something because he was his right-hand man, and then spend time with Mica alone, which is very inappropriate.
And to be clear about that, are you alleging that he engaged in criminal contact with Mica? And if so, again, my understanding is there's no time bar in South Carolina to bring charges. Is this something that you're speaking with about authorities with?
I don't think he physically had a relationship with her until after she had already been married to Jeremy.
I wanted to ask you about something else. And this goes back to that idea of why he says, and correct me if I'm wrong, why he says he had to set up the power of attorney. He was concerned about whether Mica would be taking money, because there was this allegation that Mica was a suspect in the theft of $1,200 in donations for the Solid Rock, this missionary efforts. I understand you want to clear the record up on that.
That was investigated. I have seen, police excerpts on that, and from what I've seen, to best of my knowledge, it said that that was just a domestic dispute, and there was no criminal charges to be filed.
Okay, and also, as far as the amount that was mentioned, Mica was having trouble with the websites releasing the money to her from the donations,
such as Venmo or stuff like that.
Right. They were holding on to those funds, as they do, for like the 3-day period or whatever, gaining interest. And so during that period where the money didn't show up yet, he was accusing her of stealing that money. And then after the fact, after she's passed, all the money showed back in except 1 penny.
Not to mention that the money wasn't money that was donated and she was stealing it. This money was, hey, I've put $600 out of my pocket with the intention of, hey, I will be reimbursed from this, because that's what she was told. Hey, spend your $600 to purchase, all the donuts that you're using for fundraising. It's a charity. We'll make sure we reimburse you. So it's not even stealing. It's reimbursement for what she's already put into.
Right.
And before I let you go, I have to ask you about this letter that came out that he had seemingly apologized to Mica for what he said was releasing a nude photograph of her on the internet. What was your reaction to that letter?
He's a faker.
Yeah.
He likes to band-aid everything so he can still control and manipulate people.
I told him straight up, because of his behavior before, okay, now go ahead and go cry in front of your church and apologize like you always do. Mm-hmm. And he didn't during the sermon and his bombshell drop at the last point. He didn't do his fake sniveling, crying, fake stuff. He just, until later, but he would, numerous times, he would go in front of the church and say, I'm sorry, I did this and I did that. I'm sorry. If you don't want me to be the pastor, I'll leave. And they would say, oh, no, you do such a great job. And then it would happen again and again.
Right.
And if they did stand up against him, he would threaten them with removing them from the church, or he would just straight out remove them in front of everybody. And then later in sermons said, oh, well, they just left for no reason. I don't know why they left.
Michael Sierra.
Anything that comes out of his mouth, it's all backwards.
Well, Michael Sierra, here's what I wanted to ask you. This is going to be an ongoing discussion. And I was hoping, and first of all, thank you for being so forthcoming to come on to explain this, give your perspective on what's happening. As this progresses, can we keep an open line, and can you come back on and let us know any updates that are happening?
So it was interesting that they said that they don't believe anything physical took place until after she was already married to the best friend. But
they don't know.
But I thought they said that they felt like he groomed her from the age of 14. I don't. So what are they meaning by grooming? I don't know. I'm not familiar with the shit, so I don't know. I thought there had to be some kind of activity, no? So what the parents state or the dad states in the beginning, the age of 14. But then right, but what I'm saying is, but they said they didn't anything physical didn't take place, because that's when Jesse's like, "Hey, are you talking to the authorities about this?" And they're like, "Well, we don't." Let me see here.
He groomed her. What do we mean by that?
Right.
Which is something he did not like.
Watch.
Just very terrible.
There are these
because they said, from the age of 14, they had a relationship or whatever, right?
Allegations that he groomed her. What do we mean by that?
He had his sights set on her from a very young age. I would guess probably 14 years old, 14 or 15 when we first came to the church. And he made sure that he kept her exactly where he wanted her to the point of who she married, what job she picked up after she was, 18. He got her married, and then he made her his secretary and his babysitter and his let's go to lunch person, and oh, you're so beautiful.
And then when she was married, same thing. Best friends with her husband, her previous husband.
So that was before the marriage. Then after the marriage.
And manipulated the situation where he could have him doing something because he was his right-hand man, and then spend time with Mica alone, which is very inappropriate.
And to be clear about that, are you alleging that he engaged in criminal contact with Mica? And if so, again, my understanding is there's no time bar in South Carolina to bring charges. Is this something that you're speaking with about authorities with?
I don't think he physically had a relationship with her until after she had already been married to Jeremy.
So after she had already been married to Jeremy, grooming is a criminal activity where someone builds a relationship with a child or young adult to manipulate, exploit, or abuse them. The groomer may use trust, secrecy, gifts, blame, or threats of violence to control, isolate, and emotionally, physically, or sexually abuse their victim. Grooming can take place over a short or long period of time for weeks to years. So basically it would be like a dude being in the friend zone, or a dude that is in the friend zone, well, not necessarily friend zone. A dude that is in a situation and he's acting like it's a friend zone, but really he's got ulterior motives. I'm just going to play like I'm your best friend, but really, I'm really trying to swoop underneath the carpet. So if he had her in his sights and nothing physical happened until after she was married, well, how did if you're the pastor and you shoot in advance at somebody else's wife, the friend was what? The friend was down with it. What? What the hell? It's okay, Rosie. So, I think she's having technical issues. It's okay. We're gonna play this. This is from TikTok, Justin on TikTok, talking about the attorney apparently is an expert in AI. Kinky church, says Snazzy. Man. Crazy shit, man.
Found out something very interesting about JP Miller, or more importantly, his attorney, Tom Winslow. Now, very quickly, before I show you what that is, I have to tell you that I am not making any accusations about anything here. I am just showing you some information that I found that he has listed on his own website. And to be clear, I'm definitely not relating this to anything involving Mica Miller's case. With that said, Tom Winslow, who is one of JP's attorneys, is apparently an expert in AI. This is on his website, but this isn't it, because one article doesn't prove anything. Except it isn't one article. It's also here on his website, and here on his LinkedIn, how to become an expert on AI, and up here on his Facebook. Now, just so y'all are aware, if you don't know who Tom Winslow is one of JP's attorneys. Consequently, he's the same attorney that helped JP get medical POA over Mica. It's also being rumored / alleged that he was also part of the reason that Mica had the diagnoses that she had.
What?
And in addition to all of that, he's also a person of interest in regard to the FBI's investigation and the Dare to Care Africa mission regarding Tom, his law firm, JP, and Solid Rock Church. Now, if you aren't following me for this case already, please hit that follow button. But I do find it very interesting with all the rumors out there that his attorney happens to be an AI expert. Do with that information what you will.
Huh. Whoa. Who's Rachel? Tom Winslow owns 160 acres of land right near Fair Bluff and Lumber River State Park. Speechify AI voice cloning can clone anyone's voice in seconds. All it takes is for the AI to listen to your voice for around 30 seconds. Once it samples a person's voice, it can read lengthy documents, create podcasts, and more in the voice it sampled. Whoa. Now, thank you, Katrina. Look at this. This is from Winslow Attorneys. If you can, here, let me see. it doesn't really. Go like that. Check this out. From Winslow Law Firm, whatever. Encouraging S is a crime, right? It's a crime to encourage people to unalive themselves. If self-unalive is a serious issue, so serious, we have laws that create a felony if you even encourage it. Then what are we going to do when AI encourages death as a solution? Who is responsible for that death? Whoa. Wow. That's crazy. Let me see here. Hold on. I couldn't find that video, so the dude must have took it down. Give me 1 second. Let me see if there's anything breaking real quick. What the hell?
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. Were you able to hear about
No.
this here?
I heard a little bit, but it was cutting out a lot on my side.
Oh, was it?
I heard about the AI though.
Who do you? Yeah, let me ask you that question. Okay, if encouraging somebody to self-unalive themselves is a crime, right?
Yeah.
Whose fault is it if it's AI?
That I think that's impossible to answer. I don't know.
Because you hear a lot of these lists. I mean, it's cool. I'm hearing songs from Kurt Cobain. You know, I'm hearing songs from Lane Staley. I'm like, dang, this is so cool. Like, wow, it's awesome how it's not perfect, but
Yeah.
you're like, dang, that's freaking sweet how you're hearing these, and it's all really I watched a documentary because when I came across those videos, it's like, how in the hell I gotta see this. So there's this documentary of this dude that started it, and he was explaining how he showed this person doing the documentary. They actually he showed you how to take a sample, the AI generates it, and then you can basically take whatever, you do some singing with it, and then it
Yeah.
takes the AI generated thing and mixes it together. And next thing you know, it sounds like, 98% like that person. And it's like, holy crap.
I guess there's always a human who initiates it, so they would have to be the I don't know
Right.
what you would say, the conscious agent in that decision, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be considered a weapon at that point.
Yeah. Definitely.
It could be considered a weapon because just like a bullet, somebody has to put the bullet in the gun.
Exactly.
Somebody has to pull the trigger. Somebody has to create the AI and send it to the person that's getting targeted or whatever. So, yeah. But it's weird that his lawyer made this statement.
Yeah.
Before they remarried, he made her run away. What, like mission trips or something? Yeah, it says right here, can be 30 seconds is all it takes.
That is terrifying.
Yeah. Let me see here. All right, I'm not seeing anything that just came out. Let me go back to the playlist. There's so much to it. Let me see here. The other video's like an hour. We don't have an hour. Let's see here. Let's see. Dark Secret. Okay, so I did want to watch this. This was the Justin on TikTok. When it comes to some of the stuff that's like with the church. If I can find it here. I thought I found it, but that's not it. Where did it? And YouTube has been so buggy. I had like a playlist set. Well, all right. I'll have to look for it later. I don't see it. There's some videos I wanted to show you guys though. This was the Lumber River State Park. We'll have to go into it to another episode. This is from different like camping channels and farm channels and stuff like that, but it's a little collection of Lumber River State Park, so we can see more of what it looks like when we're talking about the area. Because when you're looking at this, and where where her stuff was right here in this area, you see the observation deck and what the pictures look like. But I wanted to show you, like the video, until we go and I'm gonna get GoPro and stuff. I got my raft. I can go out on the water. We're gonna be able to get different videos and stuff. But I wanted to use these videos to kind of give everybody more of a visual view instead of like a top down and a couple pictures or something. So these will be from different channels. I'll drop the links here as we get through them. This first one is from Klein Farm Channel about the Lumber River State Park.
Lumber River State Park, Chalk Banks access area. There's the Lumber River. Lumber River State Park, Wagram, North Carolina. Welcome, North Carolina State Park. Help preserve our natural resources by observing the following. Hi, Wyatt. Looks like a pretty nice place to picnic. A whole bunch of charcoal left in there. It's a pretty tree. And there's the Lumber River, Lumbee River.
So it's not necessarily on like.
No, like there'd probably be.
Oh wow, only one like. Here's the link for the video. I put the channel up there. Here's the link for the video. That was like number 2. Needs more likes. This was posted April 2nd, so a little over a year ago. Now I'm sure the foliage is a hell of a lot thicker. I mean, you saw the news clip of the guy when he was
Be
interviewed.
20% out of 100 of there being an alligator in here. 1 out of 5.
Okay, that's percentage enough for me to not be in a fucking raft, y'all. So sorry, forget that. Forget that. Forget that.
Because there is without a doubt alligators in the Lumber River.
Fuck that.
This is very far at the very top of their range.
That's all I needed to hear. I'm glad I watched it. There's a reason for everything. There's a reason I played this video, because it's like, yo, man.
Yep.
1 out of 5. Those odds ain't good. No.
I wonder what that little building is down there with the orange and red on it.
Orange and red. Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm going to have to check that out when we go.
I don't know.
Interesting.
It's like a beautiful place to go fishing, though.
Brad, right? Right, Brad? I hit the e-brake on that one.
You can't fight with percentages.
Yeah, I hit the e-brake and I yanked the wheel and we and we let that thing down and I hit the gas again and we just went. Yep. Hit that damn e-brake.
It was definitely hazardous walking. There was a big old hole in the ground there.
Good thing I got my boots. Here. Yeah, my boots. That looks like a dangerous bench right there. Like if you sat there, like if you had too much weight going forward, your ass is in the water. Cause look, it's kind of like sloped down too. That's a dangerous bench. Look at that thing. It's sloped down and look at the drop off. What if you like, oh no. I bet you a lot of people went down right there.
That looks like a little camp or something.
What the?
There's another one there. I didn't see that one there.
This makes me. I miss Red Dead Redemption. What are these like shacks out there? Are these like houses?
It's a good.
I can't wait to.
2005 Eagle Scout Project of Addison, McMillan, Lumberton Troop 301, sponsored by Gail and Joyce Barefoot, Raleigh, NC.
But it's going like this.
Big old turtle right over there.
Whoa.
It's a
Oh,
big
that's
one.
neat.
I don't think it's a snapping turtle. It don't look like a snapping turtle.
Ooh, I can't wait to get some footage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Photos and videos.
Trees. There's that camp right there. It's a little fishing spot.
That is a house.
See an alligator.
What?
Is this fresh water?
Yeah, it's a river.
I thought he said he saw an alligator.
I didn't hear that.
Lots of good fishing spots up here. This is all pretty open along the whole bank here. Nature toilet. Oh, over there's a woodpecker. It went on the back of that tree across the river there. A very big one, but definitely has a red head on it.
Was he the one that just flew?
No, that was a different bird. It's right on the back of that middle tree right there where I'm pointing.
There's a hole in the ground.
So how far until you get to the
The
observation
walking
deck?
trails have these little reflective lights on all of them. Gone Fishing Catch Clinic. We can teach you. Use your gear, use our gear, bring your own, all ages. Schedule appointment today. Call, text.
What's up, everybody? All right, so whoa, look at all these different spots. So where's the observation deck? Approximately 5 miles, 1 inch. Observation deck is way up there. So this is a different spot. And it doesn't have like a "you are here" unless this is it right here.
River State Park.
Oh, damn.
Lizard.
Okay. Let me see here. Is there boating, campsite? Let's check this one out. All right, I'm just going to hit mute. 23 primitive campsites, 9 at Princess Anne and 14 at Chalk Banks, 1 group campsite at each access area, plus an overflow group camping area at Princess Anne and a paddle-in camping site at Chalk Banks. So this is the whole thing. Wow. This is a massive park here.
Yeah.
Let's see. One. Chalk banks. Chalk banks. Canoeing. So, whoa. Campsites that you have to get there by a canoe? Hell no.
Ooh.
Yeah. They got some that you can, park. Handicap. Just showing different campsites and stuff. I mean, it looks nice. I don't know. I've seen cooler campsites that, because you see all the pine needles and stuff. That's
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's a bunch of pine needles on the ground. They're a bunch of pine trees. Yeah, it gets thick, but it's not. I don't know. When I think of camping, I'm thinking of like thick foliage where it's just brush and
Yeah.
forests,
Yeah.
not pine trees that you see the bottom half. You can see a whole huge distance. Let me see here. So I guess this is True Crime with Squirrel Girl TikTok. Something about J.P. Miller served papers related to the case last night at 6 p.m.
So don't say nothing if you don't mean it.
Yikes, that'll get me in trouble there. So here's the video, here's the link, and this is somebody serving the papers related to the case, but is it still music?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still music.
Does it still get you in trouble if it's just a moment like that?
Oh yeah, because I'll have to get rid of the video.
Oh.
I'll have to clip it out. Either mute it or clip it, so then we get muted during the whole process. It's just a pain in the butt. It's just easier just to mute it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Wait, he didn't answer the door. Oh, did he? Oh, he is saying something.
Mm.
Yep, he did take it. Oh, so this is the video of. Oh, cool. This doesn't have music. Okay, sorry, I didn't know. Hold on. Hold on.
We are now at the home. Just witnessed him driving up. We know what's going on here. He could be in his vehicle. His windows are dark. I didn't look over because I didn't want to be nosy. Ring the doorbell. We got dogs. Here we go. He goes for How you doing? I got some papers here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Huh.
Okay.
That's weird because on the other video, it looked like he was going, whoa, 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 like he was saying something through the door. This interaction was, I got some papers for you. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
What? All right. Thank you. Not even. What are they for? Like, I don't even know you.
Driving up. We know what's going on here. He could be in his vehicle. His windows are dark. I didn't look over because I didn't want to be nosy.
In the video, it looked like he was standing there a lot longer, too.
Yeah.
We got dogs. Here we go. He goes for How you doing? I got some papers here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That looked... Huh. That's weird. Because, see, when on the other camera, it looked like it was grabbed from the hand that was up close to, and then pulled it in real quick. From this one, it's like he grabbed it with the other hand and was standing at the door. That's weird.
I thought he was closer to the door in the other one as well.
Right. Yeah, it looked kind of weird.
Mm.
Looked kind of weird. Wow. All right. See if there's anything breaking. If not, I'm going to go ahead and end it. Might have a game night tonight. I'm not sure yet. I think we all need a break from all the toxicity out there, from everything going on with these other cases and stuff, if you know what I mean. I think we need to maybe have a game night tonight. So I wanted to have a quick show this morning for a few hours, hang out with you guys, see if it's something that you guys would enjoy. Me early in the morning as well. I am going to be start to do a sports show a couple nights a week over at the lounge. So if you're into sports and you want to hang out, I'll be doing that a couple nights a week. I was thinking about maybe starting to do these real early morning lives, 9:30 Eastern, bright and early before I even get a drink of coffee. Just trying different things,
Well, I love it, but
Yeah.
I have an ulterior motive. So the time zone.
Yeah, now that we're ending this show, which normally we would end it at like 10:30 at night. What time is it for you right now, Rosie?
6 p.m.
That's not bad.
No,
You got time to have some supper at a decent time, right? That is early 6:30 a.m. for me. Oh boy. Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, because normally when I would do my morning shows, it wouldn't be till like 10:30 a.m. Central, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And so by the time I'd get done, then it was like literally a couple hours And then I would be doing a night show, and there's just not enough. It was like, whoa, I'm waking up. An hour, I got to do a show, and then I'm doing a show, 2 shows, and then I'm getting done, and I'm like, damn, I got to hurry up and go to bed so that I can be up
Yes,
just
so
to
that you
have
can
an
do it all
hour. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't I, if I'm going to be up this early, why don't I try and start doing shows just earlier? Instead of waiting until 10:30, why don't I start doing them at 8:30 in the morning? Still hang out with you guys for a few hours, and then we can do the shows at night too. And maybe even I even thought about, instead of having them on as late as it is for me, I even thought about maybe even bumping those back a little bit earlier, so it's not so late. And also, I was kind of thinking too, like, what happens if it is like a day where there's just a bunch of news coming out about a certain topic or a case we're talking about, and yeah, we could be on this early, and if need be, I could do a show for 8 hours, starting
Yeah.
from the morning, and then cover it during the whole day as it's breaking or happening. So it's
Live coverage.
just trying to do different things here. No, I haven't even met up with her. No, I had a, oh my gosh, I had Friday, I think it was Friday night when it started, maybe. It was it was like 2 days, 2.5 days. I had a humongous sinus migraine. Usually, when they're coming, I just go to sleep or try to go to sleep, and usually when I wake up, uh, the migraines are gone, and once a year, maybe 2 times a year, I don't get that lucky, and it was one of those things where I didn't get that lucky. It was like 2.5 days straight of a freaking migraine where I couldn't even look at a screen, um, because it hurt so much just to even look at a TV or a computer.
Yeah.
Um, so no, I didn't. And then after that, did some rearranging here in the studio, and then got some other things done in the background, and then we came back last night. So no, I just, you know, I should probably make a highlight out of what I said in the intro last night, because really, it's like, I think people need to understand, like, it's just what this is what I'm saying. What new updates are there?
Exactly.
And if you want to know, just go to last night's show, watch the intro from the beginning, because I have a message about it all. It's becoming a bunch of stuff that's not about Sebastian. And really, if you think about it, what are the updates, people? Other than people not working with somebody, not working. You see it, you see the locals that are there searching every day. What are they finding, people? Nothing. It's why I said, I keep going back to the memory of all of us that were searching together. And we all said to ourselves, there's what after all this searching, there's not one thing. So it's a bunch of this and throwing this and throwing that. And really, is it about Sebastian? No. So when there's some updates, we'll cover it. But, like,
Yeah.
honestly, you it's just a bunch of that's cool. Somebody's working with people, somebody ain't working with people. It's becoming more about what it isn't. It's becoming more about this person being right and that person being wrong than it is about just being about finding Sebastian. And unfortunately, it's like, it's why I said what I said last night. Like, there's certain things that, unless there's an update, we don't even cover it because when there's so much toxicity, I don't need to talk about what person changed team. Did it get us closer to finding an update? No. So why are we even gonna, oh, so and so's the new spokesperson? Okay. It's becoming like politics. It's like more about
It is.
politics and less about Sebastian. It's politics.
Exactly.
When you have people on both sides slinging, and that's all it is. It's politics. What new updates have there been? You can go watch any of the local searchers. What are they finding? Nothing. So why is there all of, right, Katrina? Why is there all of this circus when there's not even a freaking update? The circus is
like people
over
are trying to
who
look
hired who and who doesn't work with who. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it for me to fucking talk about it. This was my message last night. Unless there's an update where there's actual stuff that can help with the case, why am I going to sit there and talk about this person changing teams when all it's going to do is bring a bunch of fucking misinfo sheep bullshit trolls in the fucking community? You know what I mean? Like, for what? Because somebody wants to argue about who's right and who's wrong. What's the update? What's the update? Somebody changed teams. Whoa, okay. So guess what? There's other victims out there that deserve to have this attention towards their family. Just like we did Mica Miller and Ella Adler. Give me an update. We'll talk about it. We will help. Other than that, the more that, listen, it's not about the views. I could sit here and I could do a Sebastian show and get 5,000 views at the end of the video. It's why I did my show last night. I started my show off the way that I started it off. I definitely encourage anybody, if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it, because I'm telling you where I'm coming from. I had a lot of time to think with this migraine because all I did was stay awake, uncomfortable, laying there, because that's all I could do. And so if that's all I could do was think. And I thought a lot. And sometimes, even though I couldn't hear a screen, I could hear the shows talking about it because I didn't want to fall behind or miss anything. And so when I'm listening to it and I'm hearing all of these different shows just spew fucking hate about how they're right and everybody's wrong and this, no, you should do it this way, and no, my experience in this, and it's like, and I'm just laying there for these couple days going, what's the fucking update?
Yeah.
And I kept going back to the memory in my head, not the last day that we were searching, but the last memory that I have of me and the whole group sitting there going, yo, we just got done putting in a whole freaking day on a boat. And we're all there together going, man, all of this searching after all this time, and there's nothing. It doesn't make sense. Another project, I don't know what that means. I don't call I don't call Micah Miller a project. It's another victim that needs to have attention. That's I don't know what the project what that means, but there's so much negativity. It's ridiculous. It's just it that's why I had a night in true crime last night. I did my intro. Maybe I should make a highlight out of it, honestly, because it's like, come on, people. Like, we could sit here. It's like when we had Idaho 4 shows, and there's people coming up. Yeah, this could be a possibility. Well, no fucking shit, Sherlock. A goat could have gave rotten milk, which then made the person that commit the crime get pissed off because their goat milk wasn't, it messed up their breakfast. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many possibilities that could happen. We could have talk shows for days on how rotten goat milk made the person that commit the crime have a bad breakfast. Like, really, it's ridiculous on the amount of shows that you could, just like this, right? You could have so many freaking shows about how this person sucks and this person's right and this person's wrong and da 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 da. And that's all it's becoming, because it's all about the fucking views. It's all about, hey, there's no update. Let's talk shit. Okay. No, it's called there's other victims. If there's not an update, you have locals there. Locals are searching. They have the availability to put their fucking boots on and go out there in 15 minutes. Awesome. They should. If they're local, they should. There's people out there. You have LE investigating it.
Yeah.
Supposedly. I don't, the just the mud. It's like, it's just ridiculous. No, haven't even heard any updates on Sophia either. There's a lot of missing children in that area, and I don't understand why if you're looking for Sebastian, look for Sophia too. Because she's from the same, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's Sebastian's the hot ticket.
It's become that way, yeah. And people are just making their own updates, like you say.
Like, seriously, Sophia, there was a community post. You can go check it. It was a while ago. Put the community post as soon as it happened. Put it up as a community post. Why is it just searching for Sebastian? Why isn't it searching for Sebastian and Sophia? Why isn't it more about these other people as well? Instead of taking shows and taking communities' time, because we ain't got much. So when you guys spend 2, 3, 4 hours, if there's nothing to talk about, why talk about the BS? Don't you think Micah Miller's family appreciates people talking about Micah Miller instead of talking about somebody's opinion, because everybody has an asshole?
Yeah, I mean, there's an infinite
somebody's opinion.
Yeah.
It's getting bad. When you have friends, and this is what I mean by political. When you have friends that are arguing amongst themselves because of this shit, what the hell, man? I think people need to take a break. The searchers, the locals are out there. if they come across something, we'll know it. You know what I mean? When it comes to LE, if they come across something, we'll obviously know it. I think people need to take a fucking break for a couple days from the everybody, except for the people that are there and the people that are investigating. Everybody should take a fucking break, man, just for a day or two. Fucking focus, refresh.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's way out of hand.
It's getting crazy.
Mhm.
It's why I came out with my intro last night, because I'm just like, I'm sitting here, I'm sitting back, and I'm just seeing all this, and I'm just like, people.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll just keep going back to it. What updates, yo? What updates? So what if Chloe don't hang around no more? Okay. Okay. Did that give us a direction? Did that give us a more of something that that wasn't more of the day before? Fuck no, it did. I should probably make it a highlight, Marlena. I probably should, because I think people need to understand. It's like, you don't think there's other victims out there that need focus instead of focusing on my opinion and my right and you're wrong? I mean,
Yeah, it's becoming about the personalities, like characters in a show, which it should never have been. I mean,
right. And what update? Yeah, 32 other kids. 32 other missing kids in Tennessee alone need help. Why isn't it searching for Sebastian and Sophia? From the same city, Hendersonville. Sophia's just happened after Sebastian's, you guys. Sophia's just happened a few weeks ago. Why is it just searching for Sebastian? You gotta know. There's plenty of characters in that title.
Yeah.
You can add Sophia and some other names in there too. And hopefully they'll do that. I'm surprised because, I'm not even a local. And I posted the missing person of Sophia's from Hendersonville. I'm not even a freaking local. But yeah, I think everybody needs to take a break. Yeah, I haven't heard anything else about Sophia either. Nothing. Nothing. And who knows? Maybe it's you hear about these rings. Maybe it's something from Nashville, and Hendersonville is skip outside of Nashville, and it's a small community compared to Nashville, and maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Just like Sophia disappears. Just like Sebastian disappears. No sign. No nothing. So if you see anybody, encourage them. Hey, can you talk about Sophia too? She happened after Sebastian. Same city. You might as well cover as much ground as you can for as many people as you can, because if they're coming from the same city, instead of looking for just a pair of Adidas style pants and a black t-shirt, why don't you look for some other clothing items and some other items that were with these other people that are missing too? And so instead of looking for one focused pair of pants, you can look for multiple items, because you never know.
And you're there. So.
Because you might say, oh, look, there's a pair of white pants. But Sebastian, who says the other missing person wasn't wearing a pair of white pants, and then you disregard it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it doesn't match. I'm not going to go over there. It's white. We're looking for Adidas pants. So we'll let you know. I'm thinking a game night tonight, but we'll see. You know what, Rosie? Since you're here, hold on one second. Do you want to play a game of Price is Right before we end the show? Since you're on, or not?
Sure. No, that's fine. I can't remember how to play, but if you remind me. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Where's my... Hold on. Maybe we should... Maybe when I do these day shows, we should end it with... Because, Price is Right was always on in the late morning. So maybe with these day shows, we should always end it with a match of Price is Right. Okay, so it's a bidding game, and you guys can help her out in chat, okay? So we encourage you guys to help out in chat if you'd like. Give me 1 second. I'm going to kind of minimize everything, and I'm going to get this ready to go. Now, it is... Are you familiar with the Price is Right?
I did play it on the game show at the lounge one time. I just kind of... Sophia has been located?
She has been located. Awesome. Awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
When was she located? Because I hadn't heard anything.
Yeah.
Are you near
Yes,
Kenya? I'm sorry.
Am I near Kenya? No, I'm not near Kenya. Kenya's quite far away, but I do know some people there. So.
I'm just waiting for the intro. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I played it once, but I forgot. It was a while ago. It was on the show at the lounge.
All right, hold on here.
I don't think I did very well. I remember you gave me an example about peanut butter, and that's all I remember.
It's all good. You don't get to join the game nights very much, so why not? Right? All right. Give me 1 second. I gotta switch my screens. There we go. All right, there we go. Well, you never get to join the game shows very much, so I wanted to do a kind of special ending to this one just so you could join, because you don't get to join very much. So since you can't come to the game shows, the game show will come to you today. All right. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. I found a Price is Right app. Oh, really? I need to get on Amazon and see if I can find some other game shows. Because this is a Xbox 360 game. I actually came across this, not even looking for it. I came across it. It was like $2, and I'm like, the Price is Right? Oh yeah. So then, yeah, we got it set up. So now it's part of the show. We got plenty other game shows though, but we're gonna do this one. All right. So we'll go ahead and help you out. Basically, you want to bid, but you don't want to overbid. So, if that makes sense. We'll help you out. People in chat can help out as well. And we'll find out what year. Now, this is Price is Right decades. So we'll find out what year we're going to be playing, and that reflects the money and such, and the games that you play too, the mini games.
So you kind of have to understand dollars. just
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. Let's see. The year is. Well, most people don't know because 1972. Because these go to members only after we're done. Whenever we do our game nights, they go to members only after we're done. And so some people might not have even been on while we were playing this.
Welcome to Contestants Row. The contestant with the bid closest to the actual retail price of the item without going over wins the item and gets to come up on stage to play a pricing game. Here's the item up for bid.
It's a compactor. General Electric compactor.
A compactor.
Squeeze on top. Pull out the drawer, drop in the trash, close the drawer, push the button. The trash is automatically reduced to less than a quarter its original volume.
Trash compactor.
Let's start.
Yeah, it takes your trash and squeezes it. The year is 1972. Who knows, right? All right, so you got 301, 109, and 257. I know you probably don't even have a guess because I wouldn't even have a guess. This is 1972. You guys want to help her out in chat? What do you guys think? What do you think, Rosie?
They sound expensive. I mean, I would.
It's
one.
I would think it would be more than 109, right? But
really,
I don't know. What do you think? You think more than 300, or you think no?
No. Elsa wasn't born yet, Busby, and I don't know dollars. Okay, I'm gonna go with 170.
170. Okay.
I don't know why, but I am.
170.
Actual retail price.
230. Nice. Look at that. Getting jiggy.
Really?
Yep. You're going up. You get to play a game. All excited.
Bonus game for a chance to win $600.
All right, bonus
To win
game.
the bonus prize, you'll have to guess the value of the 4 smaller items. Each item has an associated place on the board. The bonus prize is hidden within one of the spots. After you've played all 4 items, we'll reveal where the prize is hidden. If you've won the item associated with the prize, you'll win. You'll also win any item you guess correctly.
Okay.
Let's see the first item you'll bid on.
All right. The first
It's
item.
the new Schick Flex-O-Matic for a close electric shave. Shaves closer and more comfortably because of the extra thin, flexible head from Schick.
Ooh, I bet that hurt.
Here's the incorrect value for this item.
Schick.
Is the actual retail price higher or lower?
Ooh, we're gonna go. Oh wait, I can let it play. Higher or lower? The Schick self beard trimmer from 1972 that probably just yanked the damn hairs out of your face. $42 higher or lower than $42, and you can look in chat for help. I'm seeing
Lower.
I'm seeing lower.
Okay, one higher. I think lower.
You think lower?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, last time it picked the wrong one, so I'm assuming it's on lower. Okay, cool.
Right, great.
Good job.
Okay, let's do the next item.
That was chat.
Yes.
15 thermal blankets from St. Mary's. Machine washable blend of polyester and acrylic. St. Mary's. Non-stop fashion for your bed.
Ooh.
Here's the incorrect value for this item. Is the actual retail price higher or lower?
Lower?
You
I
think
still
lower?
think lower.
You think lower?
I think. Wait, does someone want to help?
Oh, well, it's
lower.
right.
Item is
It's right.
Linens from Dan River. 5 sets of twin sheets and pillowcases. No iron, Dacron, and cotton. Dan River has stripes, plaid, and cartoon characters.
Here's the incorrect value for this item. Is the actual retail price higher or lower?
I don't know. What do you think, Rosie?
I think this one's a little bit difficult now.
Right.
Okay, let's say higher for variety. Higher?
Higher? I was gonna say lower, and then I'm like 3 lowers in a row. No, it's got to be higher, right?
Variety.
Right. Okay, so higher it is.
You got it right.
See what I'm saying? There we
Let's
go.
see what the next item is.
There we go.
A deluxe self-cleaning portable console humidifier from Arvin. In the winter, eliminate dry air in your home with an Arvin humidifier.
Here's the incorrect value for this item. Is the actual retail price higher or lower?
I don't know. Higher.
Higher?
Higher. Higher.
All right, here we go. Higher.
Sorry, you didn't get it right. Okay, so let's
Sorry.
It's all good.
Yes, your items.
Yes, you got it.
Congratulations.
You won the game.
I'll forget again for next time. Thank you.
And hashtag me if you want to be the next contestant. We'll take one from chat, and then we're going to end the show.
Showdown.
We'll take one
Spin
from
the
chat.
wheel. If your spin or your combination of 2 spins is higher than the current leader, you'll win the chance to play in the showcase. Be careful, though. If you go over $1, you'll lose. If your total is exactly $1, you'll win $1,000, and you'll spin again for a chance at even more bonus cash. This is the current leader. Beat his score to win.
90?
It's your turn to spin.
That's almost impossible. That's almost impossible.
$10.
We have a few me's.
You have to spin the wheel again. It's your turn to spin.
All right, we need 90. Come on. $80, $85, $85 we need. No, that's one. That's too much.
You're over $1. Sorry, you won't go to the showcase.
Damn. Look at him all proud with his. Who wears a damn tie with a t-shirt? Like, who wears a tie with a t-shirt?
I don't know.
Right? Looking all happy and shit. All right, we're going to take one from chat. We'll just take one from chat, and then I'm going to end the show. Hold on 1 second. We're going to switch it to the StreamYard thing. So I'll wait 1 minute. Type hashtag me if you want to be a contestant from chat. And then also I would encourage anybody just to make sure, double check that you're live, that you're not delayed. Because I know YouTube is being buggy, and I myself even look down and go, whoa, I'm like 3 minutes behind. Shit.
Your own show.
Right. So we'll give it a minute. I'll take a couple sips of coffee, and then you can play from chat. We're almost there. We got a lot of tapes unlocked now. We got one more. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots left. That's it. We've almost unlocked all the videotapes.
How many was total before?
Oh, I don't know. Let me see. I'll tell you how many total there is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So you're looking at 35, I think.
Wow,
Around.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
35 tapes. We're almost done. All right, so we're going to hit the draw button. We'll see who's next. And I don't know why I'm entered. But if I am, I'll just skip it ahead. Oh. Because I put type hashtag me. So
Congratulations, CJ.
Yeah, it made me enter. There we go. Risky 3 and me. She was up here before already, I believe. All right, are you still in chat? Let me know. And the year is... We need to do that LA Noire game and that Clue game sometime, too.
Yeah,
1998. All right. Let's see here. There we go. 1998.
Welcome to Contestants Road. The contestant with the bid closest to the actual retail price of the item without going over wins the item and gets to come up on stage to play a pricing game. Here's the item up for bid.
A handy video camera. A 8mm camcorder features a 24x1 zoom plus system, color viewfinder, and a full-function wireless remote.
Ooh.
Let's start the bidding.
Man, I'm thinking 15.
All right, what's your bid?
I'm thinking 15. Oh, wow.
Okay,
637.
your bid.
Oh, wow.
And how much do you think it's worth?
1998, you guys.
All right, your bid, please.
1998. I don't know. I would think it's a lot more than that. Let's see here. Risky 3 and me. Type your answer 2 times if you're sure. 850 once. Yeah, 1998. 850 twice. All right, 850.
Actual retail price is...
Come on.
You win.
Nice. Dang.
Oh, well done.
First guesses, 2 in a row. Rock on, people. With me, it wouldn't have worked out. I suck at this. Plinko! Yes, you get Plinko! Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yes, you get Plinko.
You start out with 1 free chip, but you can win up to 4 more. There are 4 different items on display. Each item has a 2-number price, but only one of those numbers is correct.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the first item.
Excited.
Includes 8-foot jumper cables, a tire inflator sealer, reflective triangle, help flags, flashlight, and touring manual. Necessities for every car.
Is the right or the left number the correct number in the price?
Yeah, $15 for a roadside emergency kit. 1998. I know, and what's cool is now that we unlock this, we could literally have a Plinko night if you guys want. We could literally just play these games. We don't have to do the showcase thing. But I want to try and unlock all the videotapes first. That's why we keep playing it. 15 is right. Oh, 5. The 5 is right. The 5 is right. Are you sure? One more time. Just let me know, Risky. Just in case you change your mind. Five. All right, 5.
Here's another Plinko chip.
Nice. Okay.
You can earn another chip with this item.
Cast iron, aluminum, tabletop grill, indoors or out.
Ooh.
This grill is ideal for all of your barbecue needs. has 200 inches of cooking space and 1,800 watts of power.
Is the right or the left number the correct number in the price?
I don't think it's $70. It's probably 30. So I would say the 0, but that's just me. I don't think that. You think it would be $70, Sarah? Really? Maybe. Maybe it is 1998. Right? Let me check. Yeah, year is 1998. 0 says Risky. One more time, Risky. Yep, 0 2 times. There we go. Awesome.
This is our third item up for bid.
All right, one more.
Microchemistry set for the little scientist. Has over 1,500 experiments, ideal for school projects who just play fun.
Is the right or the left number the correct number in the price?
I could see that being 40. Smithsonian. It's a Smithsonian kit. I could see it being 40, but I don't know. I like how you can hear the crowd kind of.
Yeah.
4. I got a 4 and a 4, so she picked.
Plinko chip.
Congratulations, you got all the Plinko chips.
This is your last chance to earn a
Oh,
Plinko
there's
chip.
one more.
It's a
Oh,
limited
shoot.
edition crock pot with wraparound heat for even cooking.
49ers.
Turning great for beans, soups, and stews.
Is the right
I
or
love
the left
crock pot
number
meals.
the correct number in the price?
Oh, man, I miss crock pot meals. So you're going to have to tell me left or right, Risky, because they're both 2. So left or right? Left or right? Left or right? The right 2. One more time just to make sure. Second 2. All right, here we go. Oh!
Let's move on over to the board where you can drop your chips. Here are your chips. Drop them on the top of the board. And
All
let's
right.
see where they end up. This is your first chip.
All right, your first chip. This is 1. You got tell me between which and which. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tell me between what, like between 3 and 4, between 7 and 8, between 6 and 5. Give me those directions for where you want me to put it. Oh, it's only, yeah, here we go. 3 and 4. All right, 3 and 4.
$500.
Nice.
Drop your next chip.
All right, what you looking at next now, Risky? Six and 7. 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like there's not fine tuning involved in this thing. Look at how. There we go. We got you 6, 7. Oh, 500, almost 1,000. Look at that, 10,000 in the middle. All right, what's your next chip, Risky? Middle would be a good one, right? 4 and 5. Okay, so there's number 4. I'm trying to get it in a better spot for you. That's good. Oh, geez, it jumped.
Good.
$500.
I'll try and get it a little more in the middle. All right, last chip. Man, that thing jumped back up and over. That was crazy. Maybe just do one right in the middle. The middle. Boom. Get the 10K. Come on. Nope, it's going over. 1,000. Not bad.
That's it for Clayco. Congratulations.
Man, that's a big prize right there.
Welcome to the Showcase Showdown.
All right.
You'll spin the
Give
wheel.
us a low
If
number.
your spin or your combination of 2 spins is higher than the current leader, you'll win the chance to play in the showcase.
All right.
Be careful, though. If you go over $1, you'll lose. If your total is exactly $1, you'll win $1,000, and you'll spin again for a chance at even more bonus cash. This is the current leader. Beat his score to win. It's your turn to spin.
75. That's usual. Why don't they ever have lower numbers? Come on, give us a shot.
30.
All
The
right.
result is lower than the leaders. You have to spin the wheel again. It's your turn to spin.
All right. 40. We need 50 because we don't want to do a spin-off. We need 50. 50 at least. Okay, that's good. We got it. There we go.
60.
There we go.
You win. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You're headed to the showcase.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Welcome to the showcase. There are 2 showcases up for bid.
All
The
right.
player who bids
Here's the
closest
showcase.
to the actual retail price without going over wins their showcase.
1998,
Your bid
risky.
is within $250 of the actual retail price of your showcase. You win both showcases. Let's see the first showcase.
Your showcase begins with new camping equipment.
Coleman.
Add ambiance and comfort to your campsite with a Coleman portable fireplace grill.
Nice.
Sun-dome tent, dual fuel stove, and
Wow.
lantern, sleeping
Wow.
bags, coolers, and fluorescent lights, all
Wow.
from Coleman.
That's a package. Yeah.
And this new scuba gear.
Whoa.
His and her scuba gear to explore the underwater world. Includes tanks, regulators, backpacks, masks, snorkels, and fins. Just be sure to receive proper instruction before you begin. Finally, a brand new car.
Explorers were
The
nice.
1997 Ford Explorer 4x2.
Yeah.
Style and a compact utility. Sophisticated and comfortable with a ride you'll love. This 2-door comes with standard features. Equipment package 931A.
Yeah,
Floor
they were
mats,
good. They
plug-in
were
rack,
nice.
and California edition.
Do you want to bid?
I don't
or
know.
pass on this showcase.
I'd probably pass. That wasn't enough for me. I needed more. What do you want, Risky? Do you want a bid or pass? I would, I like the prizes. I like the Explorer. I like the camping stuff. Where's my vacation? Like, where's my Hawaii trip? Where's my boat? Where's like all of these? Yeah,
Your
pass.
standards, yeah.
Right? Like, I want more. Come on, this is a showcase. This is it's not a half case, it's a showcase.
Your showcase begins
What is
with
this?
this new dollhouse. A custom-made colonial 2-story dollhouse
Is
made
this-
of high-quality wood. Features 9 rooms plus attic with a full wraparound porch with railing. And you'll enjoy this new etagere.
New
Carpets
what?
of High Point designed this handsome etagere, featuring contemporary styling and a brushed sterling finish with 4 glass shelves for display. From Carpets of
Etagere?
High Point. Finally, a fabulous cruise of the Mediterranean.
What, they go cheap in 1998 or
You and a
something?
guest to fly a round-trip coach from Los Angeles to Barcelona and stay 3 nights before joining a magnificent 12-day cruise of the Mediterranean. You'll cruise aboard an ultra-modern mega ship visiting Venice, Naples.
I never
Enjoy
thought
gourmet
about
food and entertainment.
going to the
Then spend
Mediterranean.
3 more nights in Barcelona before you return flight home.
France,
And
maybe.
Your showcase filled
No,
with prizes designed for the
not,
collector. Can be yours if the price is right.
What the hell? Did they have an off year in 1998 with the prizes or what? What the hell is this? I want the other showcase. But it's not my showcase. It's Risky's. What do you want? Risky. Oh my gosh. Right, Sarah? Come on. Who thought about my gosh. Take me back to 1997 if this is what 98 gives me. What are you thinking, Risky? I don't know. I don't know either. Some horror, like
They had to pay taxes.
like I'm not. The dollhouse is nice, but you know, really, like there's other things. You know, I want the fucking scuba gear. Like 14. Let's see. All right, type it in twice. This person's only betting 3,300, and there's a Ford Explorer in there. Are you sure you want 14,000, Risky? Because look, that person. Wait, is it 33? Oh, it is 33,000. Okay, hold on. 14,673. Let me just see. Just type it one more time if that's what you want for sure. $14. All right, 2 times.
Okay, you've both bid on your showcases.
Well, she
Let's
had to
see
have
what they're
overbid
worth.
then.
The actual retail
33,000.
price of the second showcase is.
Oh, what?
Your bid is over the actual retail price. Sorry.
Whoa.
The actual retail price of the first showcase is. Your bid is over the actual retail price. Sorry. Sorry, all of your bids are over the actual retail price. Nobody wins the showcase.
Oh, well. Huge prize, though. And got to play Plinko. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out today and ending it. Maybe we'll do this here on these day shows. Just, you know, same time,
Yeah.
Price is Right's on. Why not end it with the Price is Right? Appreciate you guys. I'll let you know if we'll be coming back later on tonight with maybe a game show or something. We'll see what's up. Thank you, Rosie, for hanging out. And thank you
Thank
all.
you so much.
Have a beautiful day today, okay? Don't let the toxic stuff ruin your day. Just move forward, push forward, okay? And everything will be okay. I appreciate you guys. Peaceful and positive day.